speaking of Sub-Zero on the screen here for Swazzy. Going for Cetron pick like we normally see here. Sub-Zero or Swazzy getting off to a really good start, getting under that laser. I'm actually a little surprised there. I feel like that was an input error, but he just kind of let it rock and he was able to react to it. And you know what I mean? Like he was able to react and amplify it and say, hey, you know what? I already messed it up, but I might as well cash in as what the spacing, the footsies are incredible here.
Yeah, you know what they say, you know, we take those. It's kind of the FGC classic, but it always rings true. And yeah, so far this Sub-Zero is working out super well. Swazzy, of course, is a player with a lot of different characters able to be kind of pulled out at any given time. Really depends on the matchup, but Sub-Zero, one of the picks that we see, I think a lot of people go to against Cetrion, just because you can just throw out one, I don't want to say random, but just one stray ice ball, and then the mix begins, you know, and it doesn't matter who you are, it's not going to be an easy time getting out of the mix. So it does manage to get around a lot of the potential zoning that Cetrion has, but one of the good answers for it is to play a little bit more aggressive yourself, because that Cetrion rep pressure is really, really good, and that is something we're seeing out of Solar Plexus right now.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't say it better myself. I mean, this is what we're talking about with, you know, aggressive play. When you gotta kind of change up the matchup, change up the approach, try to adapt to the opponent. But here comes that overhead forward to connecting here for a lot of damage, a lot of risk. But it did force that breakaway to come off, forcing Cetrion to lose a little bit of resources going into this next round. That defensive meter slowly coming up, crawling up, if you will, as it does cool down for quite some time. So Sub-Zero needs to get in there and needs to make his mark as soon as possible.
Yeah, and one big thing was that round really established how many throws Solar Plexus was willing to throw out, quite literally. But, you know, even just one punish could be huge if guessed correctly by Swazzy. Oh, a side switch combo. That was interesting. I wonder if you can actually combo off of that. I've never seen anybody try that. At the very least, though, okay, well, I was going to say it gets Solar Plexus out of the corner, but Sub-Zero with some of the best corner switch potential in the entire game. In fact, getting back the corner 2 times in a row very quickly. The wake up 1-1, though, and just goes for the mix-up. Stand for not even going into barrier. Just needs to get a few more hits, but that infamous Sub-Zero fatal blow is available. He's going to need one more guess after this, and that might be it. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be enough. Let's see there. What does he have remaining? I think he's dead. He's dead. Yes, enough there. So what happened there is that he kind of cut the combo. Like, the reset happened a lot faster than, you know, it normally does. Usually it comes in after the, you know, you freeze, you jump in, and you do it in a complete string. But I feel like he reset him right after the jump in punch. So it was kind of, you know, maybe he was ready for some kind of reset and decided to, you know, guess an overhead or guess throw. But either way, that low connected, and that was Swazzy, you know, really calculating exactly what he needed. I mean, even when we saw the fatal blow connect, we weren't sure. It was very, very, very close there. I believe that last hit does around 75, typically at the end of, you know, regular combos, especially at the end of, you know, a string into a freeze rather than just overhead fatal blow. So it was really, really close. Like, if that did not kill, it would have been by like a tiny, tiny bit. So really, really well calculation there by Swazzy.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I always ask myself, you know, is that gonna kill? Is it gonna be enough? And with Sub-Zero fatal blow, it pretty much always is. But, you know, we should mention this now. Of course, the switch to Shiva. And Shiva, a character that has a lot of different ways that you can play her. So I'm really interested to see exactly how Solar Plexus is going to go about this. Immediately using that Queen's Punishment to check with the low, but of course it's unsafe. If it is blocked, using it for the low poke is a pretty good strategy. And here we go. Here start the stomps.
Yeah, I thought that the walk forward is a little interesting. I feel like even if she didn't arc it, you know, to the right, I don't think that's your way out of there. I want to see maybe a little bit more slide mobility, which I'm sure Swazzy is remembering here as he's going into this fight. Doesn't get hit by the low, but Swazzy correctly block confirming there. But here comes the throw from Shiva, the back there to switch up the sides. That string is so good on Meaty, but hold on. What's even better is that neutral jump punch. Yeah, definitely dead here. No way it's even in question.
I'm never, ever going to assume that somebody's going to live through a Sub-Zero Fatal Blow. I still do it. I make that mistake constantly, but I should learn by now. But yeah, that one for sure was going to do it. And yeah, we're not seeing a whole lot of stomps. Okay, we're 2 for 2 now, 4 stomps hitting, which is altogether, though, not the main game plan that we're seeing Solar Plexus go to. It is a little bit more of a mix-up game. And yeah, the fact that we do see the overhead grab there means that there are going to be these really true 50-50 situations. Of course, they're really unsafe. There we go, 3 for 3 on the stomps, means you get the fatal blow, or sorry, the crushing blow. And now just needs to get one more hit. This is not amplified because there's not enough meter, just barely built in at the end, but it's not going to matter. Manages to close it out anyway. And yeah, I like this. I love when the Shivas keep the stomps to a minimum because these good players, once you stomp a lot, it's going to be really easy to counter it. However, if you just throw it every once in a while, kind of as like an anti-zoning tool, it makes them start second-guessing everything they do, and then you get to land the mix-ups.
Yeah, especially when you have a great move like Sub-Zero's back one. Really easy to punish Stomp in a lot of different scenarios. You know, you can recognize it. But Swazzy with a beautiful conversion. That neutral jump one doing so much work here. He's implementing it so well. And just going a little trickier there, a little Doomsday Styles mix-up here. Overhead right into the low. Of course, we're going to be ending it with that beautiful brutality. And Swazzy continuing this onslaught right now. I mean, that was definitely a closer game with Shiva. With Cetrion, I felt like it was making Solar Plexus play a little bit out of their comfort zone. Like you said before, Chef, you're going to be playing a little bit more aggressive when you're playing that matchup because, you know, at full screen, if Sub-Zero's got amplified Ice Ball, I mean, there's a reason that costs two slots in your custom variation build because it's just too good. It is just too good.
Yeah, that is, I'm imagining a world where that's only one variation slot, and that's pretty terrifying, because he's already got quite a bit even with that. And, you know, one thing is, I think this variation has actually the air end. I could be wrong. Ooh, seeing the Baraka. I'm not sure if we've ever seen the Baraka out of Solar Plexus on the pro competition, so this is pretty new to me. Let's see what the variation is, because, okay, so Blade Charge, Leg Kebab, and Spine Burst. That's pretty unique. So Blade Charge is going to be great for whiff punishes, getting some conversions. Leg Kebab, of course, is going to be a safer on-block mix-up tool, and Spine Burst for the potential anti-air and corner combos. But altogether, not really a high-damage variation until you get to the corner. So I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Yeah, definitely no high damaging output here. You usually see that in Gutted, and I mean, Kebab is pretty good, but you got to get real close to go for that mix-up. And it's kind of like a lot. I feel like a lot of people are willing to take an overhead rather than, you know, getting Kebab, considering that it's got, you know, great side switch. You can amplify it for some more damage. And, you know, it does have a crushing blow requirement here. Swinging. Now Baraka definitely has some good crushing blows. 1-2-2 does lead into a good combo pop-up and some good damage if he's got the right things equipped. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That's going to be a BNB.
Yeah, it's pretty much the max you're going to get. I mean, especially the fact, I mean, this has one of the issues, somewhat you could call it an issue out, big crushing blow. This might be it, actually. Yeah, that is going to be it. So this variation has one of those big issues that Bone Picker Baraka has, where you are also getting rid of your down back 3 of the Chop Chop, so your biggest conversions are going to be still really tiny. It's just going to be a hit into one special. And Chop Chop, you know, it's almost more than one special because of how much damage it does, but if you get rid of it, it's not going to matter. Okay, so we are going to see the Blade Charge here. That's going to be guaranteed. That's one nice thing about having that Blade Charge in this situation.
Down to just real simple, out of the sky, no fancy business about it. And normally when Gutted Baraka hits you, it's a lot of damage, but that is definitely not the case here. So Sub-Zero does live to see another day. I also feel like Sub-Zero's jump 1 is good, even if you've got, you know, Baraka Spine Burst. You got to be really, really anticipating that jump in order to go for Spine Burst.
Yeah, this might be enough. It's going to be really close. Yep, that's going to be it. Just goes for the crushing blow in the corner. And we really didn't even get to see all that much of what that variation was about. But sometimes that's what Sub-Zero does, is he just mixes you up and doesn't give you that opportunity. Like, we didn't actually even really see a Spine Burst come out. We finally saw, like, one opportunity to get to the corner, but Unfortunately, that opportunity ended. The sides were switched, and that is how life goes. But at the very least, that was the winner's bracket. So there is still going to be a chance to see more a little bit later from Solar Plexus. I do like the fact that we got to see 3 characters, got to see some switches. It's rare that we see somebody switch off Cetrion as opposed to 2 Cetrion.
It sounds like you're doing a little bit of upplaying there, Chef. I'm sure the whole Cetrion community is real happy to hear that, as much as we know that they love to downplay. But either way, it's just it's fun to see a little bit of a different variation, especially with that Baraka pick. I think what it was is that Swazi was getting a lot of mileage with that jump in 1, and it was just kind of an idea like, hey, let me go with a more consistent anti-air. Let me go for something that can kind of snipe him out of the sky. You don't really get too much damage unless you're like in the corner, but it's kind of enough to make your opponent stop jumping, and that's what he was looking for. But hey, man, it's Sub-Zero's jump 1. It is just too good.
Yeah, I always talk about how, for whatever reason, in like every single NRS game, Sub-Zero has extremely good jump-ins. I mean, look, you think back to even him in Injustice, right? In Injustice 2, he had one of the best jump-ins in the game. And in MKX, he had an extremely good, jump-in. It was one of them. I can't remember which one it was, but it was exactly the same thing, basically, right? Yeah, They're just always he controls the air in a really weird way.
Yeah, even like I feel like even in MK9 when all the characters had like the same jump animation, I still feel like Scorpion and Sub-Zero had like a little bit more superior jump kicks. It's just a character that's meant to jump. A character that's meant to jump.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. But of course, let's go over while we're here the Mortal Kombat Pro competition and how it works. Of course, it's 8 events per region. We're on the 7th right now for Oceania, but they split up into 3 big leagues: Intercontinental Combat, which you're watching right now, North America, and Liga Latina. There's each one of them split up into 4 separate sub-regions. You can see all of them right there. The top 8 in points at the end advance to the regional finals, and then that's where they're going to be fighting for a good amount of money. And you can still sign up for that definitely at compete.playstation.com. But it looks like we're already into the next match before we can even get finished. Relax, guys. Relax. Boy. Yeah, okay, so look, his PSN name is still the same thing. I can still technically call it that. But yeah, Boy going against Gilbags. And so we might see, again, this Kotal Khan. And on the other side, a lot of Sub-Zero today. It is getting colder over there in Australia, down in the Oceania region, right? As the seasons change for us to get a little bit warmer, it's getting colder down there.
That's right, Southern Hemisphere. Chef hitting us up with some grade school science. I love it. I mean, hey, it's been a while. Sometimes people forget, and the only thing I know about Australia is that episode of The Simpsons where Homer brought his sled to Australia and thinking it was winter. Okay, either way, that's a big neutral jump here coming out of Kotal Khan. Nice little conversion here. I love the way he's challenging. Even when he doesn't guess right on the delayed wake up timing, still able to go in with those down ones. I believe Kotal's down one is 6 frames. If it's not 6, it's definitely 7. Pretty fast and able to just kind of keep someone at his mercy. They're definitely going to see a little side switch here from the command grab. Get Oki as well. Look at that whip punish going in there. The spacing, but he drops the end of the combo.
Yeah, everything up to that point was so good. All the conversions were absolutely perfect, confirming whether it was going to be in the air, whether it was going to be on the ground, whether it was hit or block, and then unfortunately just that one combo drop. But it doesn't look like it's really phasing him. He's still controlling this matchup in the corner. We're definitely going to see the meter here. I think that should be the whole round. And yeah, it's still worth the bar. It would have killed without the meter, but you want to keep that corner advantage. And look, he's almost building back the entire thing by this next round. Already going for the parry against the air axe. A little bit hard to see that air axe right now in this corner. It's this dark colored ice, but I saw it.
Oh yeah. It's a little tough. Very, very strange things to see when it's darker stages versus the lighter stages. Here comes the big overhead, but not able to cancel on anything else. Kind of just believed, or maybe was looking for the crushing blow requirement. Love the spacing here. Love the hit confirm, and this is going to be a very fun variation, a very combo-heavy variation of Sub-Zero. I'm actually surprised he went in there for the throw. It almost seemed like he was I guess he was anticipating the roll, which is why he backed up so far and why he wasn't swinging. And I guess that was just a last-second decision to say, like, okay, I'm not close enough to punish that up to, but he's definitely going to be looking to block. What a conversion here. The forward advancement movement from Kotal Khan is absolutely ridiculous. It is just too good.
Yeah, and what a call out to even just do that neutral jump one or whatever it was to really, like, stretch out that long arm of the law and get the air to air. I mean, that was a super heavy call out, and it worked perfectly. He was super ready to convert off of it and everything, and so I think he's going to be a little bit more scared to use that in the future. But yeah, there we go. That's a really tough spot to break away. After they use the Rising Ice, you still take a ton of damage. You get the full jump 2 and the down 2, even if they break away, which is about 30%, and then you just have no defensive bar for the mix-up that comes next, which we're seeing right now, and that is going to be it. You can see how quickly things can go bad once you're out of bar, even if you have that little bit of extra health that Kotal does. And wow, that set turned around really quickly. It just seemed like Boy had everything in control. He definitely did in that first game, and then he had some really good reads in the second one, but in the very final round, I mean, that was just pretty one-sided.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just kind of steamrolled over him. I mean, there's nothing else that you can really say about it. Can't sugarcoat it. That was just super one-sided. But hey, I mean, I feel like he understood what he had to do in those situations, and he definitely played it a lot cleaner. I love that he's using this variation of sub 2. It seems like it's a little bit tougher in terms of like execution, but it's you're making Kotal come off those resources. And I also just like how patient he's playing in general. He's being very mindful of spacing. Like when he called out the up 2, yeah, he was looking for the forward roll, but either way, it just kind of showed a little bit of the reserve from Gilbags, because he knows, like, you can't get too aggressive here.
All right, well, here we go. Starting off game number 2, and already we're seeing the air axes come into play. And really, the air axes, the biggest thing is that they're just causing Boy to have to find an answer, like find a mobility tool that's going to be that neutral jump that we saw before, or that's going to be trying to get under it with maybe like a forward 1. But all of those can be caught and they can be punished. And wow, he went for a forward 2 into Ice Ball, but he doesn't have the amplified Ice Ball, so he couldn't combo that at all. I mean, it just must have been a mistake. Still, he didn't get punished all that hard. It's not the worst situation in the world, but here we go. This should be a pretty big punish. Of course, it's going to get the damage buff. Fatal Blow, though, available for Boy. He just really needs to get one more big solid hit, considering the fact he has the launcher.
Yeah, I see both these players kind of preemptively looking for that down 2 crushing blow. Nice conversion here, going to amplify to get a little bit of a damage boost here as he's kind of glowing here. Actually, no, he didn't amplify, wanted the Oki. That's going to be enough. He didn't have the bar to break away. He was getting very close to getting that bar back, but just getting it here as he stands up for the in-between round intermission.
Yeah, I think that might have been enough. Again, you get that free down 2 in that situation, even if they break away, and I'm pretty sure that would have been it. Or at the very least, it would have guaranteed chip death on Wake Up. All right, here we go, though. Gets him in the corner again. Whoa, immediately challenged. I think Gilbag says, okay, you know what? You got me in the corner in the very first game of the set, and that was just too... Wow, shut down 2? That's a pretty heavy read.
Yeah, man. I mean, he did it the round before, and it didn't pay out. But it's just kind of like, yeah, it's definitely just a super heavy, like, all-in read here. Take advantage here from the hit, successful hit there. What a stand 1 anti. Or I'm sorry, I believe that was stand 2 anti-air. But unfortunately, it didn't fall into the ice.
Oh, yeah, that's another big advantage of using the Rising Ice. And now, good luck avoiding all that chip. Could have been blocked, actually, right there. There still was at least 1 bar forward last breath, but didn't manage to find that block. And again, starting to run away for Gilbags. The Sub-Zero dominance today. We can see a Sub-Zero mirror in winners finals. Oh gosh, I don't even remember the last time I've seen that at a high level.
It's definitely been a while. Definitely like the main tool that the Sub-Zero community uses to downplay their character is the character's like actual results. But when someone, I don't care who you are, you could be like a world-class, like top 5 player. Like when you come out of Combat League and you lost to a Sub-Zero that you don't know, like you're just like, this character's broken. That overhead's stupid. Like, I hate this.
Hey, even at a high level, the character's good. I think there was just that European tournament that Darth Conflictus won for like a PS5 or something like that. It was a pretty big tournament. So, I mean, and also right now, exactly what we're seeing, you know, like we could have two Sub-Zeros, we could have Sub-Zero versus Johnny Cage. I don't know. There's opportunity for a lot of different characters, but right now, Boy still stands a chance. Definitely not out of it yet. Just needs to pull off what he pulled off in the very first round of this, or really, I guess in the first 2 rounds, I would say, of this set. Fortunately, oh, great, flawless block. So immediately taking back this momentum.
Yeah, man, that's the one thing about Kodal that I do think is a little low tier about him is the gaps in all those strings. I mean, you know, you do have ways to work around it, but you know, you got to constantly think about that, especially at a high level against players that, you know, can spot that out. Ooh, challenging with the down one right after the delay wake up, getting that timing a little mixed up. Tries to go for the forward two.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna just hit him with the jump attack from the air, which would have been a full punish. Still, though, he's got a lot of damage going on here. Not quite enough. Meal Sunray, though, and yeah, there is no getting past that. The classic, unavoidable, you know, the classic checkmate. There we go. That's really the word I'm looking for,
yeah.
where you just like, yeah, there's not a whole lot that I can do.
100% classic checkmate situation here, and that's what you got to be, you know, mindful of when you're fighting Kodal. Unfortunately, not every character has the ability to access a crushing blow right away to negate the sun. But yeah, a lot of instances where you're just screwed. You just got nothing. You've got nothing to help you out there. Oh, that was a risky air axe there, doing it so close to someone, especially someone with a high damage output like Kodal Khan. You know. Ooh.
Yeah, oh, but gets so much damage right there. Oh, jumps away. Doesn't go for that neutral jump 1 this time. Just says, I'm going to zone, which, okay, he's a pretty scary prospect at this point. Wow, challenges after blocking the jump 1. Big challenge, but eventually the challenges are going to work, and that's going to be guaranteed chip. Using the creeping ice, which we really haven't seen this entire set, even though it's been in this arsenal. We've just seen some bigger risks being taken, but hey, it's worked out. So if you don't need it, then don't take it. Just use it for chip if you want.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him going for it after forward 2s, but the forward 2s keep missing because Kodal is kind of... I feel like FGC Boy is playing really aggressive here. A lot more jumping than we saw out of that first round. Like, you look at this round versus, you know, that very first round, way more collected, way more methodical, and now I just kind of feel like he's in a do-or-die situation.
Yeah, well, it does seem like Gilbags is really taking control of the pace of the match. Okay, doesn't go for a full combo right there, interesting. But he's taking control of the match with just, you know, the spacing really of the axes, where he's just saying, yeah, I'll chip you out, I don't care, that's fine. I would have loved to see some more like defensive sun rays and patience from Boy, but you know, there's still a chance to see that in this set. However, now he's in the corner, and look at that, the full combo, wow, gets away from the fatal blow that almost broke armor, and that would have been the kill for sure. Now just a little bit of life left, has to find an opportunity to get that sunray out, but you might not get it. One more hit. Oh no, he was so close, but in the end it was another overhead into the creeping ice. Would have been good even if it was blocked, so pretty safe option, but one hit away. Could have gotten it if he found a time to sunray, but he just didn't, and that's how the cookie crumbles.
Man, that was his game. That was 100% in the bag, like ready to check out, and Gilbags just kind of dove in there, just ripped it out from his hands. I mean, that was his game 100%. But, you know, that's kind of how Sub-Zero plays. Maybe not this variation of Sub-Zero as much because he doesn't have the amplified ice ball, which that you can, you know, kind of easier convert for bigger damage. But he was being very patient about it, not fully committing to forward 2s, just kind of throwing forward 2 out there to kind of keep him on his toes. And he hit the creeping ice twice in a row, exactly when he needed to do it. So that was a very well earned comeback there by Gilbag. So hopefully we're going to be seeing a Sub-Zero mirror here in the winners finals. But there's going to be the first two winners already determined there. So what do we have?
Yeah, it's we might see a Sub-Zero mirror in the winners finals, like we were talking about. But yeah, I don't know if it's a matchup that we're going to see. Like I said, Swazzy has a lot of different other characters, and we could be seeing, you know, the Johnny Cage. We could be seeing the Oh, there was somebody else. I'm trying to remember in my brain, but my brain doesn't work very well. It's hard to remember from back when, because he has been using mostly, I think, Johnny Cage and Sub from the times that I've seen it. But yeah, that does set up, of course, our winners finals. However, there are plenty of other matches and such for the remainder of today. But of course, we can't talk about that without talking about Astro, the, of course, official audio partner of the MK11 Pro competition. Everything that we do here is powered by Astro. You can see us wearing these wonderful headsets. You can go to astrogaming.com to check out everything that they've got. I got a lot more experience using these now. They've been very, very comfortable, very honestly. And having the mix amp is super nice too, of course.
Yeah, no, it is really nice, handy, and accessible. You know, a lot of different things that you know, you can kind of tweak, play around with. Nice little settings that you got here and there. And again, no matter if you're you know, streaming or just listening, it's a great thing to upgrade your setup. So check out astrogaming.com, guys. And like we mentioned before earlier, Ketchup Llama is not going to be able to make the top 8 matches, so we are going down to the final game in the round 1 portion here. We're going to be going down to Vortex's match, where he's going to be going up against was it a chef?
Ald, yeah.
I'm like, I know it starts with an A. Ald. It's again, players that, you know, Ald we've seen before here in the top 8. Not too consistently, but you know, enough for a nice Jackie here and there.
Oh, yeah, and of course, you know, just bringing the style of Jackie is going to be nice. But Vortex, you know, is a player that I'm not as familiar with, so I'm excited to see what they're bringing out. And of course, they are starting off with the Aaron Black, which is a character that we, especially in this region, I feel like we don't see a lot of or haven't seen a lot of. And I mean, you know, we don't see all that much Aaron Black anymore in general. I saw some discussion on Twitter about, you know, what the really nerfed characters have been since the start of the game. And actually, nobody mentioned Aaron Black, even though Aaron Black did get some of the heaviest changes. Definitely, I would say within the first few months of the game, one of the most popular characters by far. But now we're starting to see maybe, I don't want to say a resurgence, but definitely more than we used to see once we got the customs out of Ultimate. And one of the big reasons is because of that move that we're seeing. Well, we saw earlier here the Acid Pour, which is a very weirdly named move because it doesn't Acid Pour unless you spend bar. But here we go. As I'm talking about the character, we're getting down to a clutch potential fatal blow moment. We just need to see one more conversion. Blocks the overhead correctly. Good call. And the grab. And now this could be a chip death situation. This is going to give some pretty good Oki. Oh, or the fatal blow. Oh, just the amplified scud shot is going to do it.
It's such a good move, man. It's solid. It hits mid. It hits everywhere. You can't escape it. Very tough thing to avoid there, even if you're trying to avoid that chip. But Aaron Black's Fatal Blow has definitely got one of the biggest nerfs in terms of, you know, very early on in the game. So I feel like a lot of Aaron players have just kind of not maybe because of that specific nerf, but you know, a collection of all different ones. Who tries to go for the air-to-air a little too late. Jackie connecting here, getting that pressure going, a little bit of a dropped combo, maybe a reset potential or reset setup, amplifying that slide, getting that free acid throw down, the DOT damage coming into full effect here. Jackie just swinging after that clean jump in from downtown. A lot of mids coming from the department of Jackie's arsenal here. So many mids, man.
Oh yeah, she's got mids on clearance. She's got mids on clearance that other characters would pay their entire life savings for. I mean, she's just got everything you could want. But it is getting down again to this exact same life where both of them have this fatal blow, and a leap here is going to be so dangerous because that fatal blow, you know, despite the fact that it did get nerfed, it's active for a really long time. So eventually, I think there's a good chance she would land in it, but it's not even going to get to that. It looks like the grab's going to be enough. Of course, especially with Jackie with that slightly lower health total, 950, and this is surprising. I mean, Ald, you know, extremely strong player, but just wasn't able to get really all that much started in that game. It was really this kind of further ranged game that we're not as used to seeing from Jackie. And Aaron isn't really a character that's known for having the best air control. So this is a pretty surprising way that this match has turned out. However, it's not the first time that we've seen Ald have a little bit maybe of a slower start in these brackets. You know, this is the first game of the day, so there is a little bit of maybe wind-up time, especially when you're playing a high-energy character that requires a lot of quick button presses and high execution, like upgraded-ish Jackie. It's a pain. We had a tournament in the Open Series where somebody won with using actual upgraded, so we can't call fake upgraded anymore.
Hey man, it's sometimes it's all you need. Sometimes people get so used to it, or I feel like what happens a lot is that people like stepped away from MK and then customs came out and then they came back and they're like, well, I only know the tournament variation, so let me see what I could do here. And long and behold, it's still a good variation.
Oh yeah. I mean, I always say that even if Jackie had literally no custom moves, she'd still be good. You know, she just got such good of like a normal tool set. But right now, using that normal tool set to bully Vortex into the corner, this is of course exactly where you want to be. I do like that we're seeing Ald play a little bit more of like almost a next-gen Jackie type style, speaking of the old tournament variations, where it's going to be a little bit more zoning-oriented. But all right, immediately down one anti-ring, super good call, showing the matchup experience. But this is a pretty heavy life lead to have to come back from.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's probably going to need at least 2 clean combos and a fatal blow to make this comeback, but hey, it's definitely possible. Here comes a short hob, a little fast overhead here. Jackie, yeah. Just cheesing him out. Just cheesing him out, man. The DOT, it's so fast. Like, it becomes so active so quickly. You know, when you're down to nothing, you know, what can you really do here?
Yeah, it's almost like it guarantees chip in its own weird way, right? And it does have like a little bit of recovery, but by the time it's out, you know, oftentimes they're already like able to do something else. By the time you really recognize what's happening. And it is mostly when you use that low shot. And then on top of that, if you try to react to the low shot, sometimes they can just amplify it, and then you run into the like a mid follow-up, the arcing follow-up. It kind of changes its hit properties.
Yeah,
but
and then you're taking way more damage than you would have if you didn't react to anything. Yeah,
because then you're taking the damage over time from being hit, and you're still sitting there in hit stun in the damage over time. But as I say that, there's just a bunch more damage over time, and I'm telling you, this is weird. This is a weird way that this matchup is playing out. It really is like more of a zoning type Jackie than the super aggressive Jackie, and Vortex has shown that they're very good at dealing with that sort of air pressure. So I like the switch up to this kind of like footsie zoning patience-based Jackie. It's cool to see.
Yeah, I feel like it just kind of comes down to where you're comfortable against, you know, the certain character, and I feel like Ald's been doing a pretty good job of, you know, trying to deal with Aaron in terms of, you know, the lack of safe mix-ups that he has. Like, he has mix-ups, but he's got to take a huge risk, man, canceling strings that normally ended in overheads right into the slide. Pretty good, pretty pesky, and if your opponent's not used to it, you know, it can definitely take you miles. But I don't think that Ald is that player that isn't used to it. I think Ald is super comfortable like that, and that's why we're seeing less of an air game, ironically, here coming out of upgraded Jackie. I mean, look, man, that's what it is. Bionic bounce, man. The first move on there, that super jump from downtown, always just one leap away from making contact. And you know, but that's how you got to play matchups. You gotta, as soon as you say that, he just jumps right at the round start.
Oh no, both players whiffing grabs. All right, this is going to be a punish. Immediately goes for the just the normal launch, tries to save that crushing blow. That would have been a pretty easy way to start that off, but I do like that fact, considering especially the fact that Vortex knew that Ald still had all that defensive bar, and there is the armor breaker available in this variation. We just didn't see the read for it. Still though, managed to get a pretty strong life lead. And oh, there's the forward four, the classic, probably the move that makes me the saltiest in this game in general, the ultimate drop kick.
Oh, so good. huge drop kick. Nice conversion here. Now, we haven't seen too much of the acid pour. I feel like a lot of, now that move has been made safe, if I remember correctly, from the most recent patch that affected it. I remember that move was like Omega not safe, and it was like awful. Nobody wanted to use it except for like me. But yeah, now it's really good. I mean, you cancel your down pokes, you double dip, you try to take your turn back. It's super good move. It's super good move.
Yeah. I mean, it's also it's the armor breaker. It also too, if you go into the locked and loaded stance, it comes out in like 6 frames. It comes out faster than normal, which is not a really common situation, but it lets you get these weird spots where your opponent's like, oh, I can swing right here, and they just can't. But we're not really seeing a whole lot of that. It's mostly being used in combos. Also, we haven't really been seeing it be set up in the acid where you can get the crushing blow for it. But in this variation, that does mean that you have to land a slide first, and we haven't really seen very much of that since game 1. However, it might not even matter. And oh no, could have got it right there, maybe for the guaranteed damage. But you know what? It's not going to matter. Still manages to get the hit, and Vortex is going to win game number 2. This is a pretty back and forth match. It's still just so weird to me how Ald is playing it. Just playing so patient, not really pushing the pressure. And the fact that we're seeing this variation of Aaron, which really isn't that much of a zoning variation, but it's playing like it is a zoning variation. I mean, it does have the amplified scud shot, which is going to be technically a threat, but overall, it's going to be very risky to try and actually zone, but it's still running away. It's interesting.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you're Jackie, like you're anticipating a scud shot, and you're trying to go in with bionic bounce, which is what we are seeing here from Ald. But I think Vortex is just kind of doing a good job of refraining from that. Like he's just saying like, no, I would rather block or try to anti-air that jump in. Like I know it's coming. This is Jackie. Like, hello, of course she's going to be jumping in here. Bionic bounce for days. I mean, it's such a good move. There's no reason not to. At least to try to implement some kind of offense to see if your opponent can deal with it. Even at a high level, you see, Jackie does have options. He can alter that jump trajectory. A lot of different things that she can do to just kind of keep it fresh, keep it unpredictable.
Yeah, well, is going to really keep it unpredictable to bring this set back. Coming back from a 2-1 game deficit. But okay, this is a good start to the pressure. Again, though, we're seeing, this really kind of patient, grounded gameplay, using a lot of the damage over time on the ground. We are seeing these leaps mostly to get in, but here we go. Starting off, gonna get that crushing blow. It's a huge life lead at this point. I mean, the comeback is very unlikely. Yep, okay. So taking the grab on the acid here, especially when your opponent has acid port, is a much safer option. Oh, this is gonna be it. Yep, immediately goes into the down projectile. And we are going to very potentially see a game 5, them going just back and forth.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is down to the wire. And I feel like Owl just kind of needs to remind himself that, you know what, you got to take a step back. Don't get too crazy. Because I think that was the downfall in game number 3. A lot more jumping than in game number 2. And I think he understands that. Sometimes you just have to remind yourself, like, okay, relax. Let me play to the opponent. Let me not just do what I default into. Back there to switch up the side positioning here. Gonna get a little bit closer to the corner. No, decides to back off. Here comes that rifle. Very, very fast projectiles. But the reason it's broken is because he needs ammo in order to do it, in order to shoot. Tries to go for a sweep, just a little too far away, didn't get the spacing quite right. Beautiful throw tech, reacting to that in such a magnificent way. Here come the mids for days from both these players, actually. Aaron Black got some mids in his own. This is actually an Aaron Black that uses that back 2 up 4 string a lot more than I see in other ones. Huge damage here, huge payout. I don't think this is going to be enough to kill, though. I think it's going to scale a lot. I didn't see a breakaway.
Yeah, this I believe will not kill, and this doesn't really give you that much Oki, but it will give you the chance to set up a damage over time on the ground, yeah, which is going to put you into potential kill from one more situation like that, but this is the 50-50, and you got to guess, and the grab, I think, is going to be it.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes match point for Vortex. Yeah, that's the big issue about using her Fatal Blow, is that it doesn't give you Oki. So really, a better ender might have been just knockdown, and then if you get that one more hit, convert that into Fatal Blow. But still has a chance. That took a lot of damage right there from blocking in the damage over time on the ground. And it has the corner at least, but nice. Okay, again, the slide. I think Vortex is starting to see that Ald is not really reacting to the slide in these mix-up situations. Of course, it is very difficult. Definitely something that I get hit by pretty much every single time, but this damage is adding up for sure.
Great. It's very, very tough to see there. I mean, a lot of, even a lot of really, really good players say it's tougher to see online versus offline. But, it's making miles for him. But here comes Jackie, a little aggressive here. Cannot lose this round, as they are going to be eliminated from the tournament if they do. big jump off the interactable instead of the usual bionic bounce we're used to seeing, and that mid did connect, but Aaron Black or Vortex didn't fully commit to it, didn't believe in that decision or what he was going to be doing here. Oh, here comes the big boot drop overhead. Watch out. Could be connecting a second one for the crushing blow. No, just block it for days. And that's going to be an easy hit confirmed. Vortex with a magnificent comeback there, despite bringing down to almost nothing. That fatal blow connecting from Jackie. Vortex takes it.
Yeah, okay, good. I want to say first showing in the pro competition. I could be wrong. It is a little bit difficult sometimes to remember who has shown up or not, but regardless, a very good showing, at least for the first time in a while at the very minimum. Taking out Ald, I mean, that is a pretty big deal, especially first round in this bracket. So we're going to see some more Aaron Black action. And again, that does set up the total of the lower round one, I guess you could say, because again, unfortunately, Ketchup Llama wasn't here. Still, congratulations on making top 8. But hey, you know what? If you make top 8 and you don't show up, technically you don't lose. So you got a perfect record. What can you say? But that does mean that Boy is going to be playing against Temp, and Solar Plexus will be taking on Vortex in losers round 2. And then, of course, our winners finals is going to be set up between potentially the Sub-Zero mirror, Swazzy, and Gilbax.
Yeah, man, it was definitely a good showing from both the Sub-Zeros, but we do know that Swazzy has a whole portfolio of characters, so we could see possibly Johnny Cage pick or anything else that he might throw. Again, just to kind of get a feel for what's going on here, just to kind of see what's going on. And if you guys want to see more here coming out of PS4 tournaments, which is what is presented here, the Mortal Kombat 11 Pro competition, real easy to sign up, get these rewards, have a fun experience, just competing, doing what we love doing. If you guys want to see what tournaments are going through here, go to PS4. Go to compete.playstation.com. I'm so sorry, but yeah, we got, and we definitely have some great merch if you guys want to check it out here. If you guys are watching from the desktop, you guys can click on the merch store. Very easy there on twitch.tv. Or you guys can go directly to amazon.com/Mortal Kombat and look at all these shirts. You guys can represent your favorite characters. You got Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and I forgot the name of this one in the middle. I think it's just henchwoman with teeth. No, it's Melina. Melina is going to be the character that you guys can represent. Show your love for your community. Show your love for your character. And if you don't see your character on here, there's a little chance that they are available in the store. There's a lot more merch. If you actually go to the website, a lot of content, a lot of things that you can grab for yourselves. Again, show your love for the game and represent hard, represent your region. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be taking a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to have the top 6 players remaining here in this top 8. So don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And thank you for sticking around, or welcome for the first time for those of you who are joining us. This is the Pro Competition Mortal Kombat 11 Oceania Week 7 qualifier. I'm Darth Arma, and to the right of me is Wonder Chef, who's just been having a blast here alongside with me, calling out these great matches and seeing all this high-level gameplay that this region has to offer. Australia's best players, New Zealand's best players, all familiar with each other, so it's really amazing to see this like super high-level intellect of of gameplay, of figuring out how to adapt, how to counter. These guys are awesome. Definitely going to be seeing some high-level Mortal Kombat 11 action. But Chef, I know we got a little bit of word on the PlayStation. Let's talk about PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah, so of course, Mortal Kombat 11 Pro Competition is presented by PS4 Tournaments. And of course, so is the Open Series, so be sure to check that out as well. It's weekly competitions for everyone. You can play against friends and rivals for rewards. Of course, go to the Competition Center, the one-stop shop for all the Mortal Kombat content that you need. Go to compete.playstation.com and you can sign up completely through there. and play through just your PlayStation, which is a very, very easy way to do it all. I always like to say that it's cheating. You know, I think for whatever reason, I mean, I know exactly why the reason is, but all of us commentators are really old now, and we all think back to the past, especially since we're right around the MK9 time. So we always think, oh, I wish it was this easy back in the day, you know, back when we were competing, but it was not. It was considerably harder, so everybody's got it pretty easy. And hey, you know what? There's still one open bracket left for this region, and there might be a few more. I think there might be 2 more for NA. I'm not sure at that, but regardless, the point is, compete.playstation.com. There's still time to sign up for all these tournaments.
That's right. And if you do make that huge breakthrough that a lot of people are planning to make in those final 2 weeks, you know, you could be the one that sneaks in there in terms of qualifying, especially if you guys are in the NA region. Remember, for the NA region specifically, for West and East, it's going to be top 16 in both those regions, making it to the sub-regional finals. So all you got to do is qualify for that sub-regional finals, and then you can upset everybody that day, get through seed number 1, seed number 2, seed number 3 in huge upsets to get, you know, paid out. Prize pool is definitely going to be a huge factor for the sub-regional finals. But right now, we're focusing on the qualifiers here, who's going to be getting those points, who's going to be solidifying those spots and solidifying those seeds here. You want to get as high as possible to get the easiest path here. I mean, it's just simple bracketology. I say it every time. Bracketology.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, that's a huge deal for today, right? Again, you know, looking at who we have in the bracket today, there's no Waz, and that is a huge, huge deal. Waz is very much, I would say, guaranteed at this point for being in first place as far as points go in the Oceania region. Yeah. But there are a lot of players that are still completely incapable of making the second place down through the 8th place, right? Like, there are a lot of players who are just kind of on the cusp of qualifying, and a win or a top 3 today, or even just like a top anything really, could really push them up into that spot. And there are a few players, like, for example, Swazi, I think, if a win today could possibly push him up into second. I'd have to do the exact math, but we're also missing a few of the other players that are in that 2nd and 3rd spot. But interesting, we are going to see Boy go to this Terminator. Now, Temp using this Devora, a very wild Devora player, using kind of the classic now Devora variation, using the ground bug, which I'm Terra, which I'm never going to pronounce correctly, and Widow's Kiss, which is the teleport. And on the other side, we're seeing pretty much again so there's the classic core of Running Man and well, actually, no, this is a pretty different variation. I was going to say teleport. There's no teleport here. We're going to see the I'll Be Back breaker, and we're going to see the air grab, which is going to stop a jumpy Devora, if that's what we see. So no teleport, which is a little bit rare for Terminator, but I love seeing a lot more Terminators recently, actually, as the character is super hyped, just controlling all of this in the corner. And oh, great punish, didn't get the full thing, but gets another chance, and that's going to be a flawless victory to start things off.
I literally could get anything in there at all. That's how fast. No. I'm trying to say that's how fast that round was. I mean, he just went right into it. And Terminator is indeed a mixed machine. And I think this is just basically a tournament variation, if I remember the loadouts correctly. This should be not the Destroyer variation, but I believe variation 2. So it could be a Terminator that FGC Boy learned, you know, a long time ago, and it could be, you know, a player-specific thing, a matchup-specific thing. Looking for the air grab here that he can convert some good damage and get to a good mix-up situation. But here comes that Widow's Kiss, teleport coming in, making that damage, tacking on that Oki bug, a little too far away.
Oki bug, I like that, as opposed to the ground bug. I'm always trying to find a shorter name for that movie because it's just impossible to actually say that name. One day I'll get it down, just for the sake of getting it down, but there's not enough Devora players to make it worth it, so please, more Devora players come out. But here we go, overhead into Fatal Blow. I think that's probably it too. The thumbs up. It's so similar to the Sub-Zero Fatal Blow. It does a ton of damage, and yep, that's gonna be it. A ton of damage. All that you need is just one big mix to land it, and the comeback potential is huge. That is going to be Terminator taking game number 1 for Boy. And yeah, this is the second variation, the second tournament variation, but it's still really good. I mean, really, truly, for Terminator, the only core move is Running Man. Aside from that, it's really whatever else you want to use with it. And both of these moves that were in this variation are very good, so it's definitely worth bringing this tournament variation still.
Yeah. Running Man is I feel like it's very hard to, if your character has the ability to equip a mid command grab in this game, it is a very tough thing to kind of ignore. It's just so good. Now, Running Man does have a huge amount of whiff recovery, so you do have to use it kind of sparingly. But the fact that it's you can jump, you can do it from a pretty far distance. It opens up, how close you have to be or how far away you can still be in order to mix up with Terminator. You did mention the teleport, which a lot of people do like, and I feel like that's matchup dependent. Terminator, backdooring before customs, everybody's big gripe with that character, the big source of downplay for that character was that, he gets outzoned. He can't get in. Like, he can't get past characters that have good projectiles. But then when customs opened up, teleport coming in really, really good. A teleport that's pretty fast. Not as fast as Cetrion or anything like that. But it is cool that you can kind of delay it and mix it up just a little bit. But you literally just have to teleport and you're in. You're behind your opponent who's trying to zone you out. And this is definitely a more zone-heavy variation that we're seeing here out of Collector. You're going to be seeing some DOT on the ground. That flame, that green flame, is going to be throwing out. You don't want to stand on it. You're going to be slowly losing life.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique move to see from a pretty unique character to see. But this is a matchup that I feel like I haven't ever really seen in a tournament setting, let alone in a top 8 tournament setting. So that's pretty cool to see. But right now, it's looking pretty good. I mean, one thing is you were talking about how Terminator does have, I would say, a little bit of an issue getting in, and that doesn't necessarily mean always like just the fact of getting close. It's the fact that he does have kind of stubby normals, and if there's one thing that Collector has, it's not stubby normals, using that stand forward to really bully these short Terminator normals, using the down 4, and really just controlling the entire pace. So it doesn't matter if you get kind of close, because if you can't actually get that touch, it doesn't matter. But the down 3, one of the best anti-airs in the entire game. I always talk about how Terminator has like 4 of the best anti-airs really in the entire game. He's got the down 3, he's got the down 2, he's got stand 1, he's got I don't know, there's just a bunch of different things you can do. Air-to-air grab, and all it takes is one to start this pressure, and this round's already over.
Yeah, I like how he waited there at the end. Once he hit that knee, just in case, he waited enough time just in case it did hit in order to get that command grab to connect. Obviously, Temp could have just held up and it would have been able to go around it, but the delay was so long that he might have actually been able to recognize it. Love the 1-2-1 challenge, and then leaving him in the shotgun standing position. Super duper good considering Terminator's arsenal here. I mean, this is mixed machine here. The lows, the overheads, mid command grabs, regular command grabs that are equipped with crushing blows. Sky's the limit here. Going for a mid command grab of his own. Collector just kind of slicing and dicing his way through. Trying to kind of keep Terminator at bay. I love the use of normals. Just did a little too late there, it seems. Trying to hit that down 4, get some super duper plus frames.
Oh, using the bag bomb, just an arcing projectile. It's pretty strong as far as things go. But okay, doesn't get any sort of like true conversion from the knee string. I don't actually remember what that full string is, but now Temp has fatal blow. The anti-air, oh no, really need to get the full conversion off of that, and this should be it. Just gonna go up, yep, forward 4, keep him grounded, and there's no way to escape that, and that is gonna be it. One of the big advantages of Collector is that he can get a lot of damage. If he does get a confirm, that is unbreakable, and really came into play right there. So hey, this interesting pick with the Collector worked out very well. I think a lot of it just really has to do with the normals. It's not really traditional zoning as far as things go. Does have the bag bomb, which can, control a lot of space, but overall, I think it was just the fact that he was able to bully with with the standing 4s. He was able to control the airspace maybe a little bit better. And of course, the damage from Collector. If you actually land hits, Collector does a ton of damage. And the way that Terminator has to play, he does have to take these big risks, which do leave him open to kind of bigger punishes, like, for example, 4-2-2s or standing 4s.
Yeah. And I like that you brought up the fact that, this is not really traditional zoning, but more or less with those normals. Kind of reminds me of like some early Doll Sim from some of the other games. Obviously, not to that extent as much, but I kind of feel like for normals, it's definitely at least normals that keep you pretty far away. I definitely see a lot of similarities here. But it looks like Boy is switching over to Kotal Khan, which we saw him playing a little earlier in today's broadcast.
Ooh, a great interrupt to start things off, and that is, I think, a true string if he just actually goes for the string where he throws the little shock rooms, but that was actually a cancel into the Bola, which is a pretty weird choice and a pretty weird thing to read off the bat. Great flawless block up 2 though, and now here come the command grabs. We do also see, I didn't even notice because he didn't use it at all in the last game, but he does have the teleport from Collector too. He just hasn't really used it in too many mix-up situations, although in this case he could probably use it really well to get out of the corner if he finds the opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like he likes using it for, most of the time. I love that neutral jump. Really good conversion and good awareness, knowing that, Kotal Khan switched over to the left side of the screen, altering the combo best he can. Gonna be ending it here with some good damage. Not finishing that string, which is what Kotal Khan was looking for, which is kind of why he let him get away with the super negative frames. Here comes a lot of damage here thanks to that amplified command grab. And of course the side switch, because hey, what else? How else can we make this command grab fair? Let's give it a side switch. Teleporting to try to get out of the corner here. Beautiful flawless block up to the recognition, the execution from this collector, but unfortunately he is at the mercy of Kotal Khan here as he just kind of dips in closer and closer to the corner, finding his way out, and here comes the breakaway coming off a lot of resources, trying to go into the Bola cancel and canceling out of there, continuing the pressure. Kind of a pseudo shimmy there in that situation. Love it, love this mid command grab.
Yeah, and goes into the reset to get that command grab. Just staggers the forward 1 on a grounded opponent. Pretty interesting setup right there. Did get a little bit of extra damage overall. Maybe could have just gone for like a combo into down back 3, the like knife slice to get some pretty good damage regardless. But I think this conversion should be it. Yeah, you get the down 2 in that situation. Super similar to the Joker, which is really strong because even if they break away, you're still guaranteeing yourself a down 2, which is going to get you with so much value. And you often do want to break away in that situation. But oh wow, weird teleports going into the corner himself, and this is the last place that you want to be against Kotal Khan. We are going to see the amplified command grab for sure. Going to throw him in the corner one more time, have this damage buff. Big push up and a big whiff.
That was 100% his call out. He did it right, but just hit it a little bit too early. But it's okay. He didn't let it affect him. Got the pop up. He didn't think he was going to continue that string all the way through, following through here as he just kind of launches his opponent up. Nice down 2 combos right in the beginning. Oh, I'm sorry, in the middle of that juggle. Not the easiest thing to do. Kotal Khan coming in with those forward advancing moves. Very, very, very good tool set. But Collector finding the right hit in the scramble and ending it here with the brutality. Absolutely disgusting. Ripping that head clean off.
I don't think I've ever even seen that brutal, actually. That's I don't really fully understand what's going on. He, like, stabs your head into your chest. I don't know. But I like the fact that he's applauding himself and cheering himself. That's pretty amazing. I've never seen that before. His back hands are cheering himself, and his front hands are clapping. It's, I mean, I guess it's partially due to the fact that you never see Collector win, but you especially never see Collector win with a brutal and then do that exact thing. Hey, I mean, Collector's got a lot going for him. He's an interesting character. He's very unique. He definitely suffers in some spaces, but I think Temp's doing a really good job of showing off the strengths really of the character. Has really good execution as far as all these combos go, and the character does have extremely good damage. Especially, we're not seeing the relic lure, which is a really high guaranteed damage because of the fact that it does break armor, but that's just another thing that the character can bring. We're seeing a little bit more of like the zoning-ish play style this time around. We're seeing the usages of the teleport a little bit more than we were seeing earlier in the previous games. And yeah, just everything that the character can do, he's shown it off very well. We're going to see Boy move back to the Terminator, although I like the switch to the Kotal. We were talking about how Terminator was having a little bit of an issue dealing with those long-range normals, and I think Kotal was doing a little bit better at dealing with it. Of course, having really long-range normals of his own. However, if you're confident in this, then go for what you're confident in.
Yeah. And it definitely wasn't a one-sided fight when Boy went down in this matchup, just 2 matches ago. It came down to the wire, and it came down to whoever's getting next hit, was going to win. So I don't think I personally think he was too quick to switch off of this. And also, of course, Terminator is super duper hype. Love the mixed machine, trying to get some crushing blow requirements fulfilled, but unfortunately here that running man, he didn't anticipate Collector to get hit by that, so he was kind of going for some very quick tick options here after those 2 hits. Not going so great for him. He does connect that up 3, fully invulnerable, fully invincible here. Big jump in boot, trying to get some kind of follow-up here at the momentum, and just swinging 1-2-1. This is going to do a lot of damage, but I think he's going to be alive by a tiny bit. I'm calling it right now, Chef. I think he's still alive. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, air to air.
Oh, but... Oh, okay. Wow, I'm so surprised that he teleported in. I think he must have been reading a reversal shotgun in that situation and was trying to punish it. But, I mean, teleporting in is one of the scariest things you can do right there. So, really, really heavy read, and it didn't pay off. But, of course, had that been a win, that would have been really tough for FGC Boy, because he would have spent that fatal blow. But luckily for him, it does pay off. And wow, we're seeing a lot more traditional zoning, but that running man gets you in very quickly, especially against that particular move, the bag bomb. You would normally use that with the ability to throw it out of the air so that you can get a little bit better angles, but it does have a pretty big dead zone kind of close up to it. If you do have a fast advancing move like that running man, it can stop it pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I like how he's using Running Man as like a pseudo whiff. Like, obviously not a whiff punish, but once Collector's done whiffing, he knows he's going to block. And here goes a nice conversion out of Collector. Not trying to leave anything to chance, and just making sure he gets the down 2 on a grounded opponent just in case he does a breakaway. I think he should have tried to fish for the breakaway, but I don't think he wanted to risk any kind of crazy comeback. Anything could happen in MK11, even if you get knocked down. You got so many options if you've got that bar. Whoa, trying to go for some kind of running man conversion here with the uppercut. Does get the Albie backbreaker forward. I think he only needs 1 more requirement, and then he'll have the crushing blow ready to go from Albie back. But let's see. I don't think Collector's giving him a chance to even get it.
No, right now this is going to be, oh no, another drop. But I mean, again, the nice thing is that you're dropping that combo at only like 300 damage. So it's already getting at least a normal combo's worth of damage. But yeah, so this is going to be, I think, the last one. Although maybe, I think he might have done that one already. We'll see if he manages to land another, but here we go. Really big combo. Immediately going into the fatal blow. This should be scaled, I think, just barely even alive, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, this is looking really close. Gonna get the stab, and just barely.
You're 100% right. All he needs is a command grab. All he needs is an air grab. No! Get there with the maze. Stand 3, and Temp gonna take it over FGC Boy. Unfortunately for FGC Boy, still gonna be a boy after today, trying to get that win so he can turn into FGC Man. One day. One day we'll get there. Shout outs to Temp, man. That was a really good Collector.
It was. I didn't know that Temp had a Collector. I've only seen Temp's Devora before. And, another thing that we don't ever get a chance to see is the one-man band Collector friendship. But, I love seeing really good Collectors. Collector, one of the characters that I really wanted to use right when the game came out. I guess technically the first character I really wanted to use. But we just don't see a whole lot of the character. And again, I think that Temp really showed off everything about what was good about the character. Playing it really similar, I would say really the character in general is similar to the Joker. And that's maybe a reason why we don't see as many of the Collector players out there, is because you can do a lot of really similar things, poking with these really long range normals, getting these really big conversions that are guaranteed for a lot of damage, even if they do break away. Just kind of controlling space with like pseudo zoning tools. A lot of the tools altogether are pretty similar, but on the other side, I love seeing Terminator, so it was nice to see that. However, I'd like to see maybe a little bit more usage out of some of the other moves that were picked. Some of the variation moves, like we didn't see all that much out of the air grabs. You can get that conversion from the jump kicks, and we did see a good amount of jump kicks landed. That can lead into a whole lot if you spend the bar, or even if you don't, still leads into something, right? But regardless, I love watching the boys' cast of characters, and unfortunately, that'll be the end of that for today, as that's going to be an elimination match, and it's going to be Temp that moves on.
That's right. Temp moving on, looking great here. And I love the little dance they did in the character select screen. A lot of different characters being used, and it does add a little bit of pressure on you. But again, I go back to the statement. I do think Boy switched off of that Terminator a little too early. Both those matches came down to the wire, like final round situation. All he needed was one guess. And I'm pretty sure he had the Albie backbreaker loaded up, but I think he was I kind of feel like he was so hyper focused on trying to connect that crushing blow because that's all he needed. He needed to connect the crushing blow, would have put Collector into a juggle state, and from there he could do anything. Even if he breaks away, down two would have been enough to kill him. And you know, I feel like a lot of players get hung up on that. You know, I've seen myself do that as well, where like you see one win route and you get tunnel vision where you're kind of not seeing, you know, oh, I can simply win this way or simply win that way. You're just hyper focused on one way. You're anticipating how to connect that one thing that you need. So just kind of an observation that I'm making here. And again, you always want to look at your own gameplay and kind of study, see maybe where you made some mistakes, made some ill-advised decisions, and you get to find patterns. You get to, you know, a lot of studying required when it comes down to just being a good fighting game player. It's a lot of work, a lot of work.
Yeah, oh, it definitely is. But, you know, I think that maybe the Terminator was a little bit more of a newer character for Boy. Just a guess, you know, I don't know for sure at all. Because Boy's Kodal is super optimal, right? Like, it's the perfect conversions off every situation, always lands, like, some really, I don't know, is always ready to, like, convert off of the heavy reads that he makes. There's a weird way to, there's probably a better way to say that, but yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going for there. Like, for example, in the first set of the day where he was converting off those, like, those jump one air-to-airs against the axes and knew exactly what to do with that. But it seemed like the Terminator was, you know, I think it's, again, a thing that you're talking about, the tunnel vision. It is something that happens a lot when you're picking up a character, is that all of the moves aren't just in your muscle memory, right? Like, when you're good enough with the character, you don't have to think about the tools that you're using, so you never accidentally just hone in on just one. But when you do have to, like, consciously think about all of your tools, it's very easy to just focus on that one. So yeah, I want to see more of the Terminator in the future. But again, that is, of course, one of our losers bracket matches now done, and I believe we're down to 5 players. Although it was nice to see Temp play, since we didn't get a chance to see him play in the first round of the day. But that means that we have Solar Plexus and Vortex going against each other in the lower side of the losers bracket. Now, Solar Plexus, I'm curious to see if he's going to go for any of those weirder characters that we saw in the winners bracket, or if we're just going to see the consistent Cetrion choice that we're expecting to see.
I feel like against Aaron Black, which is what we saw from Vortex, I want to say I'm anticipating the Cetrion pick. Now you do have Scud Shot from Aaron Black, but I think for the most part, if he doesn't have that fatal blow, you're really kind of in control in terms of the zoning war. You know, throwing down those boulders, picking and choosing when to go for teleports, or just kind of pushing back with wind. It kind of pushes Aaron Black back into that space where, you know, he's not uncomfortable. And here we can actually see he's not going with the Aaron Black pick, possibly because he was anticipating the same thing I'm anticipating, where we're definitely going Cetrion. So let's pick Kano. Let's see what kind of loadout he's got here for us. Probably going to be seeing Command Grab. Hopefully we get the little zoom in. I can't read that far.
Yeah. This is the classic new variation, right? It's going to be Chemical Burn, the safe-ish on block acid, and then the Biopull, which is probably going to be the main reason why we're going to see this variation. Biopull, a super fast pull-in that launches if it connects on a grounded opponent and kind of in the air. But it's a really good tool for countering a lot of this mid-range zoning that Cetrion wants to do. It makes a lot of it less safe, a lot of it's punishable, or at the very least, it's going to be very easy to get a whiff punish. And then this is one of the scariest variations in the entire game. Once it gets you into the corner, it's been really kind of the talk of the town as far as newer variations that a lot of these players are starting to pick. I believe we saw Rewind use it a lot. But there's a lot of a lot of players that are really, really going to this variation. But a big deal is that it does actually have to hit you, and right now, Vortex hasn't been able to really get in after that first opportunity. Oh, and the Biopull is unsafe. No punish, though, coming out of Solar Plexus. And here we go in the corner. This is where it gets scary. Not a lot of life left, but oh! The reversal fatal blow. That's going to be it. Great call.
Yeah, my jaw's on the floor. I can't believe that was what he went for, but, you know, he kind of knew that it was just kind of little hits here and there from Kano, especially because he was trying to get control, trying to throw acid. You know, again, that's kind of the go-to thing. Once Kano has you in the corner, that's the #1 thing he's trying to connect. Acid so he can amplify it and throw down that flame carpet, because it is totally not fair when you're the one just burning and burning over and over again. Love the biomagnetic pole to kind of get a little bit more reach here for your punishment options. The delay wake up, messing up with the timing. Wait a minute, what did he do? Did he just not have it spaced out right?
No, I think that had to have been an input error. I don't know why he got that, but there's no way that he was trying to dash forward and then do that. Unless there's something that I just totally don't know about this matchup, but I think that had to have totally been an input error.
Yeah.
And, you know, not over yet, though. Fatal Blow being gone is a pretty big deal, but, oh, the Kano Ball lands, and this is going to be, I think, one of those rounds that starts... Oh, okay, he does do the walk back. It wasn't one of those awkwardly close starting rounds that I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Weird input error.
Definitely a weird input error. I love the mobility here from Kano that he gets when he goes to the air. So Cetrion always got to kind of think about that. And then people kind of get used to being afraid of Kano Ball, and that kind of lets Kano, you know, get his opening in terms of the approach. You know, if you're staying there, you're scared to do anything because you're scared of Kano Ball, you know, you're going to be sitting still holding on to block. Good anticipation, good patience here from Kano. What a hit confirm out of that spit string. Trying to get nice and close. I guess he was anticipating a backdash maybe. That was a huge gutsy call, because that could have been the end of him as we know it. Stand 3 in a Fatal Blow. Now I believe this is going to scale a lot. I believe Cetrion is still going to be alive at the end of the sequence, despite getting stabbed everywhere, especially the throat there at the end. Oh, the down 1. Not close enough.
Oh, blocks the second hit, but that was a punish. I actually could have guaranteed the win off that, but it's the reset instead into the command grab. Oh, and this is always really gross. At least you're on a boat, so should be easier to clean. But yeah, there were a lot of really heavy reads with those point-blank biomagnetic poles. Really interesting callouts right there. Almost didn't work out, but of course having that Fatal Blow was a really big deal. The Kano Fatal Blow is really nice in the fact that it does keep you pretty close as far as things go on hits. But yeah, I mean, it seems like this is a variation that's working out. We are seeing some pretty uncharacteristic drops from Solar Plexus. You know, that drops too that could have changed the entire course of the game, I guess you could say. And we are going to see the switch over to the Shiva. I mean, honestly, I think the Cetrion was doing fine. I just think that it was maybe an execution issue. You know, just tune it up, tighten it up, and could be doing better. But, you know, the Shiva was looking pretty good in the last set, too.
Well, I think Solar Plexus is in a unique situation where, you know, they have a lot of points secured, you know, multiple top 8s already. So it could just be a thing that, you know, hey, sometimes I gotta, you know, I gotta work on my characters that aren't Cetrion. I gotta have a little bit of versatility going into the sub-regional finals. So I believe this is a long game pick here. And Kano getting that back 3 crushing blow thanks to that counter hit. Not a super fast move, but it does hit his mid, so when people are mashing down 1 or down 3, oh, forward 3, getting right past that Jiva stomp, getting a nice punish here, but not letting it phase him at all, forcing that breakaway to come off those resources. Big time stab here, going to be dying slowly as soon as he's moving at the end of this.
Oh, but gets the pickup with the bio pull, and there's going to be a knockdown in the command grab. Ooh, swings, big whiff on the 2-1 from far away, but doesn't matter. He's going to get another opportunity. Oh, goes right into the fatal blow. That's not actually going to do all that much damage. That was pretty scaled to begin with. I don't remember whether or not Shiva gets Oki off of her fatal blow. It looks like she doesn't really, but the zoning game here, that's going to work out.
Hey, definitely worked out there. All he needed was to waste the 2 bars right after, and hey, it worked. Kano Ball to get out of there. Not going to leave anything to chance as long as you do it in that right window. Back 1, a great mid that does break armor, leaving a standing position, and down 2, crushing blow for lots and lots of damage. Going to be stabbing him up here, throwing him down, going to bleed if you are moving. Now look at that. I love the fact that Vortex is, you know, when he wants to move, he's moving with his normal, so he doesn't take, you know, that bleed damage from moving at the end of that. So, you know, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a tell here. Down 1 acid doesn't combo, but it looks like Solar Plexus was not looking to block at all after that frame disadvantage. comes the big stomp. Is it going to be enough? He amplifies. No, doesn't have the bar, but here comes the big swinging overhead mix, man. I mean, that string is just so good, and to equip it with both, the overhead option and the low option, it's just super duper dirty.
Yeah, this is a so over time we've seen a pretty good amount of Shiva variations, especially once the Stomp Shiva became a little bit more popular. And this is a pretty interesting version of Shiva. We don't often see both the low and overhead. Of course, when players like Foxy, for example, choose this variation, you just choose the low, and then you use the overheads in the strings to mix up, rather than actually having the overhead command grab, which we do see. But this one adds that extra layer of mix-up on top, kind of sacrificing damage in certain situations. But the nice thing is that if you do amplify it from a launch, it does actually give you a relaunch. So using a lot of 2-1, getting a lot of conversions from air to airs maybe is going to give a lot more reward in this variation than some of the others, because she has weird launchers. Really, that's the only way I can put it.
She does.
Yeah, they launch a little bit too far or too low if they're already juggled. So this is a pretty cool version of all of this, and I like the fact that Solar Plexus has the enhanced Dragon Drop, but isn't just going for the drops, right? It's still very well spaced out, just using it to kind of counter attacks and movement rather than it being the main game plan.
Yeah, and it's not. I also feel like that's also against this matchup. Kano has the mobility with Kano Ball to kind of try to avoid it. It's not really going to put you in a better or worse situation, but I feel like if a Kano doesn't want to take the risk on it, he's just going to go Kano Ball, no problem. Let's go back to zoning. There it is.
Hey, yeah.
Kano Ball.
Immediately as you say it, oh, another attempt right there. Unfortunately, though, the forward 3, if they do delay, the forward 3 is not going to be the answer. It's a higher reward, but also higher risk answer, right? Because you can get caught a lot easier, but it does potentially give you the punish that we saw in the very first game. Gets hit by that projectile. And that projectile, especially when you amp it, does so much damage.
Oh yeah, a lot of damage, a lot of pushback too, just kind of keeping you back at square one.
Oh no! The Fatal Blow going underneath in the juggle. That was super awkward, and just throws it out. Okay, knows to block overhead in that. There is an overhead for any of you who don't know that in the Shiva Fatal Blow string, but this is down to the final hit. Oh no! Get the stomp, doesn't get the full punish either though, and the down 1 acid is going to do it. Didn't respect the plus frames, didn't respect the down 1 on block either, and that is going to be a really good position too going into this, but wow, goes for the heavy read off the forward 1 into the overhead immediately, and then a string into stomp just to confuse a little bit. A bunch of interesting options that we're just seeing for the first time here, but every mix-up is hitting.
I mean, hey man, it's you're gonna not respect things when you're down to the wire, down to absolutely nothing here. Here comes the acid. I'm surprised we're not seeing the amplified acid there once he does have him in the corner. Maybe scared a little bit of the predictability of going for that acid, but it's just such a good move to amplify there. Once you have that flame carpet ready to go, you kind of just lock the opponent down, but Solar Plexus finding that wiggle room, finding the ability to live to see another day.
Honestly, you're totally right. I mean, I would say the main point of this variation in general is getting your opponent in the corner and then hitting them with amplified acid in general, because that's when you start getting those ridiculous corner loops that are also, corner loops on top of a damage over time that give you these ridiculous mix-ups, and the damage is just unbelievable. Yeah. But we're not seeing that at all. Maybe it's not necessary. Vortex still has quite a life lead, but here we go. The first mix-up. Not going to give a great Oki, but the stomp's going to hit. I think we're getting close to a crushing blow. Okay, we're actually at it already. And could have actually got the confirm maybe into the kill right there, but he's going to get a grab. Just needs one more hit. Fatal Blow available, though. Going to stuff it. Oh no, that's it. That is absolutely it. Again, 7 health left. How rough.
I love how, and I kind of saw the decision making coming out of Vortex there over and over again on Wake Up. He was either relying on going for, jumping right out of Wake Up or swinging out of Wake Up. And, Shiva's got a great string to kind of stop those options really, really heavily. And I almost feel like he kind of baited Solar Plexus to keep going for that string, to kind of say hey, look, I am that player that's going to keep swinging on Wake Up. I am that player that's going to keep jumping on Wake Up. And then he kind of counteracted that or adapted there for that just one decision, he needed. And, you know, I kind of feel like it was a little bit of the bait and switch. Rolled out of the corner. Shiva, of course, the downside of that string is that you do have to commit to a lot of swings. So, you know, that leaves Shiva susceptible to that roll heavily. And that's why, you know, clear as day, getting that hit confirmed as soon as he comes out of that roll, right into the fatal blow. And that was, yeah, all she wrote.
Yeah, and
really good stuff.
You had to know that that was going to be a really big option right there, getting that sort of whiff punish situation, because there was really not a whole lot of other ways to get the confirm into the kill right there, especially when you're at such low life. But, I mean, great call to actually make it work from Vortex. Is now Vortex just needs one more game to make it one game further in this loser's bracket. Oh, down one into Acid. This low poke game has been really working out for Vortex, too.
Oh yeah, working out big time here. Hold on a second, Vortex leading in some good damage here. Ending with the command grab, now just kind of being patient, being you know, restraining himself from kind of swinging there like he was before, coming out heavy with that spit string, of course leading into pretty good Oki. And right here, I love the decision. You know, you're at a life lead. Like, why do you have to take a chance? Just keep doing it, no problem. Kano, such a good answer here for that Shiva stomp, unblockable, man.
I would love to see them just go back and forth with that even longer, but all right, finds the conversion, and yeah, this is looking like such an amazing option. I wonder if you fully delay it and then guide it, if it will end up tracking all the way. It doesn't look like it. I think that Solarplex has tried that, but yeah, I mean, Kano just has so many options for so many situations. One of those characters that was considered pretty low tier at the start of the game, but just more and more has been considered like one of the best characters in the game, and you can see why, just with the flexibility, the mix-ups, especially in the matchups where the forward 1-2 spit doesn't get stuck, which this is one of those matchups, as most are. It just becomes a terrifying character, but here we go, gonna amplify it for the bleed, and now the question is, what's the mix-up? Nothing, just goes for a meaty. I'm surprised we're not seeing something like a stomp right there, because that's gonna be very hard to deal with without at least taking a good amount of bleed damage.
Yeah, definitely a tough thing to deal with. You know, you want to have your options available to you. Getting the forward throw here, Shiva kicking him closer to that corner. Look at the flawless blocking, man. I mean, when you're down to the wire, you know, you're trying to avoid as much chip damage as possible. It looked like he might have wanted to hit confirm into the fatal blow, but maybe second guessed it at the last moment, saying like, oh, I thought maybe it was going to be enough to kill, but it seems like it's not. I need one more hit. Either way, we're going into a final round in this game. Shiva connecting that stomp, amplifying it for a little bit more damage. Here comes the mobile Kano, just getting the Kano balls all over the place. Doesn't want to deal with the stomp one bit. I know Chef loves seeing it over and over again.
It's pretty funny, but I mean, it is really cool to see. Not every character has, I mean, I would say almost no characters have such an easy answer for, whoa, that was weird. I guess that works, but okay, finally gets caught at the end of the ball. Maybe did the Kano ball a little bit too early this time, wasn't able to cover both timings, and I mean, unfortunately, this is leading to quite a bit of damage. Oh, the raw forward 3, of course, that's punishable on block, so big risk right there. Oh, and that weird grab-looking up 3 from Shiva. That looks so cool. But now both players have fatal blows, so any conversion, any little poke here, and it's going to be it. Oh, and that was one of them, but he's not going to look at the full conversion from that. Oh, still! Oh, almost enough. Almost enough. Blocks the overhead, and yeah, it's going to get the punish. That's a pretty hard fatal blow to punish on block mid-screen, but the fact that they were in the corner meant that it was just as simple as pressing 2. And that is going to be the whole set from this Kano coming out of Vortex, and I'm honestly surprised that we didn't see the Kano coming out in the first set of the day.
Yeah, man. I mean, Vortex was, you know, it could be just something that he's a little bit more comfortable with. Obviously, Solar Plexus, a name that we've seen here before. And, you know, if you're a competitor, you're going to do your homework. You're going to go back to the VODs. You're going to go check out the YouTube to see, you know, what does this person bring to the table? What can I deal with? And, you know, I think Kano is a really strong character right now. Like you said before, with customs unlocked, it kind of opened the doors for a lot of people to play as Kano. We saw Rewind playing with Kano a few weekends ago, and it's just everybody's been talking about the character. The amount of bullying that he can do in the corner with Acid. Command grab that doesn't hit as a mid, but still a very, very good mix-up. And that spit string, man, like you said, you're playing that matchup where that spit string is not duckable. That's just pure oppression, man. It ends with a +2 string, forcing you to go into a flawless or no flawless block situation. And it's tough, man. It's tough to just be put in that situation over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So,
plus, I mean, he's got a command grab, right? So any sort of plus frames with a fast command grab is always going to be one of those scary situations. And then, of course, the corner stuff, which unfortunately we didn't get to see all that much of. But as we move forward, I want to give another shout out to Astro, of course, the official audio partner of the Pro competition. We're using all their gear for all of our audio needs here in the Mortal Kombat Pro competition. Of course, you can go to astrogaming.com to see what they offer. And it's looking real nice, sounding real nice. I want to get the cool little like Mortal Kombat things. Are you the one who has the cool Mortal Kombat things on your headset, or was that Ultra David? Okay, I think it was Ultra David.
I want to say it was it might have been Mitsuone's, but I could be confusing it. I know that the Astro gear is pretty interchangeable, in terms of like all these different little upgrades, little unlockables you guys can get to represent whatever you want. A lot of things out there. So yeah, check out astrogaming.com. Cool stuff. Upgrade your setup. I know you're a big fan of Mortal Kombat, Jeff. I know you love it. I know that you just you want to represent anywhere you can. I'm representing right now with some of the merch. But yeah, man, that Kano looking pretty good. I feel like we didn't see a lot of amplifying of acid though, which is, I don't know if it's just kind of a state in the Yomi levels where like he's maybe thinking one step ahead of that. Like, okay, whenever anyone gets hit with acid, they kind of anticipate the amplify, they anticipate the fire, and they try to squirm out. Let me just meet them with some buttons or a Kano ball to, get that damage, and they're going to be constantly thinking, when is he going to burn this? When is he going to burn this? When is he going to burn this?
Well, I don't know. It's still weird because it's still so good. But regardless, we might see more of it later or not. And we are going to see the Sub-Zero mirror here as we move into the winners finals, where Swazzy's going to be taking on Gilbags. And oh my gosh, they're like costumes are very similar to each other. It's just different colors of the same costume. So this is going to be pretty tough. Swazzy is the blue Sub-Zero, and then the sort of white silver Sub-Zero is going to be Gilbags. We'll try our best. We'll try our best, right?
The slightly less blue one.
Yeah,
slightly less blue one and the blue one. Man, it's like back to the palette swap days. All right. Love it. Love the whip punish there on the down one. Does have some recovery there. A lot of Sub-Zeros love pointing that out. Look at the shimmy. Walking shoulder to shoulder with him. Hitting him with that back 3 string. Getting that nice little side switch here.
Oh yeah, this is a nice staggers, but wow, that's one way to get out. Infinite patience, and then eventually just throw out the down 2, but hey, it worked. He found the perfect moment, and not only that, he managed to get out of the corner before this ended. I think the corner control in this set is going to be huge. I mean, they both have the opportunity to switch sides as soon as they land something into Amplified Slide, but if either one is in the corner, they're going to get so much damage, and that was a great punish. Waited until he landed, got the 2-1 punish, and there we go. We see the side switch. And yeah, you can see how quickly this life can just deplete when you're in the corner. In fact, that should be it. No defensive bar. Didn't even need to finish the combo into the crushing blow. The Swazzy's going to super quickly take that round 2 and game 1.
Swazzy was destroying it with that blocking. Did you see him react to that overhead? He was 100% blocking low. And like literally the words were coming out of my mouth like, oh, getting opened up at the overhead. But he stood up like probably the last few possible frames. It was very, very close. But, it could be a product of fuzzy guarding. The overhead does come out a little bit slower than the low. But, some players like to pride themselves and, tell the word, I did not react. Okay, Swazzy, I see you. So it could have been a product of fuzzy guarding. You know, the overhead comes out a little bit slower than the low, so it's just kind of something you want to take into account when someone is doing things like that. But Swazzy, I think you're giving up. You're showing your cards here. You should have told them. I reacted.
I react to it every time. You should never throw out the overhead against me. Or you know what? Maybe Swazzy, you're just underselling yourself and you reacted to it. And you don't even know it. You're just that good. But maybe you should stop listening to us as we're talking about your match. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, dude, I could not do that at all. That would drive me insane. Like,
Oh, I know.
No way. I'm too distracted. Forward throw, keeping him in the corner right next to him. Some nice Oki.
Ooh.
Down forward.
I mean, he managed to get out of the corner with that weird, awkward jump over his head, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be a big deal. So much of that last... Ooh, almost a really good conversion there off that weird crossover jump kick. The ones that kind of throw them over your head with the launch, but okay, doesn't amplify the slide, but this is going to be enough, and Swaz taking another round. I mean, a big deal is going to be finding the ways out of the corner, and that was great of Gilbags to be able to find that way out of the corner, but it took him still so much life to be able to escape there. And here we go, there's going to be a big conversion, going to get the full freeze off of it, and going to go for the maximum wall carry combo, but super knowledge check by Swazzy, immediately knowing when to break away in that very weird combo to get rid of, or sorry, to be able to punish the slide at that perfect moment, but Gilbags is going to pick it back up and get this nice corner control.
Yeah, very big brain play there from Swazzy. I mean, you got to know those spots, and a pretty aggressive breakaway, but unfortunately he finds himself in a bad spot, almost getting the resources back, but he does slide to get out of the corner, so there is some kind of a moral victory there. Yes, you did lose the round, but you got your bar back, full bar ready to go, and you now have a great corner positioning, especially considering this opening. Gonna go amplified slide, switch over to the other side, downward axe coming your way. Love the block of the overhead. I guess he's not reacting or doesn't want to admit that he's reacting. So we're just going to say that Swazzy got really, really lucky there. Connecting that low and hit confirming good damage. Trying to get some kind of crazy Oki. Didn't expect the up 3 ice heal coming out, but that's going to be enough. No! Tries to get fancy. Maybe wanted to see the MK2 brutality. Is this going to come back to bite him? Hitting the low, but not committing to the full thing. What a...
Oh no! Oh no, he broke away! That's gonna reset the damage scaling, and look how much damage this is gonna do. I think this is gonna be close to about 500. Yeah, 454, and now he just needs to find one more hit. Oh, but the overhead and doesn't block the low. Good block, but only in the first moment. Wow, that almost turned around in a really bad way. That was scary.
That could have easily come back to bite him. The fact that he had the win guaranteed, he could have just went into a regular combo, would have done enough damage. It wasn't overscaled at that point. It was very early. And, he tried to get a little cheeky. He tried to get a little sneaky, threw the throw in there. And the fact that Gilbags was ready to react to that throw with a tech, like he knew exactly which way he was going to be teching, or he's going to, maybe it's a common thing. Maybe he's done that before as Sub-Zero. He's like, no. Just in case he's trying to mess with me. Just in case he's trying to, show off and get this brutality, because it is, I want to say it's either already unlocked automatically or one of the early unlocked brutalities, the forward throw where you get the ceiling ice pit. The ceiling ice spikes from MK2. Man, I can't believe he was in his head. Like, I cannot believe he survived that, and he almost made that comeback, man. So close.
And even if he blocked that last hit too, that would have been enough. But it just came down to the fact that he finally risked at the very end. But having to pull out that last moment mix-up that just show that you're willing to do that forward 2 slide is something you want to save for a moment where it's going to get you a big comeback or really close out the set. Not a moment where you want to close out a round that you maybe potentially could have won otherwise. And ooh, an uncharacteristically bad hit confirm here. And still going to get a good amount of damage from the Rising Ice, so now just no defensive bar. Needs to make the Oki count here, but actually this is going to be close. I'm going to assume that it's going to kill because it's Sub-Zero and it always kills, but I don't know. Okay, yep. Of course.
Yeah. If it doesn't come at a straight, forward 2, in my experience, if it doesn't come at a straightforward to fatal blow, like if it's a combo and then into fatal blow, that last hit usually does, I want to say around 70. So, I usually kind of guess, I kind of base the guess on that in terms of how close it's going to be. Whoa, beautiful neutral jump 1. Hit confirming right into that ice. Going to be cashing in big here on the crushing blow. Yes, he is. Nearly 40%. A lot of damage. Hitting that overhead, but not committing to the whole thing. Trying to get a little sneaky, throwing in those staggers. Thinking the air escape, or I'm sorry, the breakaway was going to be happening here, and he actually didn't give it at all. I kind of feel like Gilbags just kind of threw in the towel at that point. I mean, losing that situation where you were like so close to that glory, that like amazing comeback, like that was better than somebody mercying you and then coming back and beating them. It was so close. It was so close, and it just kind of breaks your heart when you're like, you get that far and it just you still fall a little bit short. But that was a really, really good set. Hopefully that's going to lead into an incredible losers finals and an incredible grand finals for Gilbags. But it is going to be Swazzy. It's going to be sitting nice and pretty in the grand finals. Still the only player left with both tournament lives fully intact. So whoever does get to him is going to have to defeat him twice in 2 consecutive sets. Not an easy thing to do, especially after you go through the gauntlet or the shark tank of losers bracket.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, the scariest thing is that if any of these players that are still left in the losers bracket, aside from this, want to make it through, they're going to have to defeat Sub-Zero 3 sets in a row. So they're going to have to be the best guessers in the entire world. There's really no other way around it. They're going to just have to get through that mix. And really, we've kind of got some pretty strong mixed characters left in general, even down in the losers bracket. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go. Again, you know, Sub-Zero, we all know that Sub-Zero is a really strong character, but we don't see a whole lot of results, as you were mentioning earlier on. So I'm curious to see really how people are starting to deal with the character a little bit more now that we've gone a little bit further into Ultimate. But of course, before we move forward, I also want to give a huge shout out to PS4 Tournaments. Of course, the way that this is being run, the pro competition is being run. So you can check that out. And the Open Series, it's weekly competitions, play against everybody across the world. Go to the competition center, compete.playstation.com. It's the one-stop shop where you can sign up, play everything through your PS4, easy as can be.
Yeah, super duper easy. Like Chef alluded to before, we come from the dinosaur era where it wasn't that easy for us. We had a lot of shaky platforms that constantly crashed when we first got to, that new platform stage. So it's really nice to see that it's actually integrated with the PlayStation rather than, integrated with like your phone or like the computer. It was just it used to do so many wacky things, but now that you can just access it all on PlayStation, make sure your notifications are on. I've heard so many times from admins like, this guy was MIA, he was playing something else, or he's playing Combat League and his notifications are off. Please turn those notifications on if you are relying on your PlayStation to navigate through the PS4 tournaments. Jeff, what do we got here?
Well, we've got Temp going up against Vortex, and I'm interested to see who Temp is going to play. Going for a third character on the day is Cetron that we haven't seen yet. But, before we get into this, as we see what their variations are, I believe it's probably going to be the Biopole variation against the usual Cetron variation. I got to say, the very first tournaments that we ran, there was no online bracket options, so we actually had to do it offline and then constantly re-upload the image of the brackets to a website. That was the only way that we could do it. That's how old school we are. But yep, these variations are exactly what we expected to see, and this is an interesting pick from Temp because we saw that Vortex actually went this pick to specifically fight against this variation of Cetrion, and you can immediately see why, being able to control that space with the biomagnetic pull. And so I'm surprised we're not seeing some of the more unique characters that Temp has been pulling out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something that maybe Temp saw that Solar Plexus wasn't doing as Cetrion, but right now, in a world of hurt, here comes the Flame Carpet. Even though Cetrion did get out of the corner, at what cost? A lot of DOT, a lot of damage, and next time it could be a little bit more deadly, a little bit more fatal for Cetrion when she comes to the wrong side of that Kano knife. Does block the low and does react to the throw. Good stuff here coming out of Vortex. What a reaction. What a maniac here. Down one right after he gets hit.
And that might have been a little bit greedy. Went for the back throw to try to not only take the round, but also take the corner positioning back. And now Temp has a really good chance. 3 grabs in a row. Just needs chip here. The roll out and gets the down one. Could have got the guaranteed chip. Finds the opportunity again, though. Almost threw that one away, guaranteed. And I'm surprised that we didn't see a reaction to that forward roll from Temp. It was from Temp. This is so confusing because this was the opposite matchup that we saw last game from Temp. This is just going to throw me off for sure. But yeah, still regardless, that almost was very scary. Like grappler Cetrion.
I also want to point out that if Temp went for the 4th throw as like a wake up option, he would have threw him out of the roll. So you got to wonder, what was Vortex thinking to roll out of there? Like, you just got thrown 3 times, and you still, I love the presence of mind from Temp. A lot of Cetrion players let that crushing blow rock, especially in games where they don't need it, because it's such a rare instance. But you know, he wasn't holding it, even though it hit as an anti-air, because he didn't need it for this game. But if Vortex makes that this comeback, it's definitely going to be. Oh, never mind, he's dead. I forgot. It's Cetrion. Guaranteed chip damage into Tornado. Put yourself completely away from me. Put me into a safe position. Because this is the game. This is the game we play. Good.
Shades of Aquaman. I love that they like gave the Aquaman Trident Rush type move to Cetrion after Dragon had been playing the character without it for like a year and a half, which is pretty funny. But hey, you know what? I'm sure they'll take it. But yeah, that was really smart though to hold on to that crushing blow. That is going to be a threat moving into, especially this part right here. I bet we could see a boulder, and oh, actually isn't fishing for that high one yet. Guessing correctly though every time, knowing that there's not a lot of grabs coming out. Good call on whiff punishing the biomagnetic pull too, and it looks like Vortex is just not going to be able to get in at all this round. Wow, that was some dominant zoning. Just not an opportunity. And there are some other options that Kano can pull out. We could see the Vegemite if we want to see the attempt to stick with Kano. That's a great anti-zoning tool, extremely good in the Cetrion matchup. But we could also see, you know, like the teleport coming out of Collector, if Temp wants to go with that. Oh no, Temp's, oh my gosh. I'm so mixed up. I'm so mixed up right now because of the previous games. But we could see the Aaron Black, who of course is also very good at dealing with zoners. I'm not sure what we'll see.
Yeah. It is interesting that, you know, there is a move, Vegemite from Kano, where he kind of pumps up that 1 hit of armor that does become active once he does a Kano ball. So it's a good way to get in, you know, even if Cetrion's at the end of your animation of throwing that boulder, you Kano ball right through. One of the downsides of Cetrion when it comes to that boulder is it does have a lot of recovery and a lot of stardom, which is why it's just such a good hitbox and such great pushback and chip. You know, to kind of round out that move in terms of fairness, you know, in my opinion. But you're like, yeah, that's definitely your opinion and not mine.
No. I mean, it's hey, it's a really cool move. I think actually Vegemite is one of the coolest moves in the game because you can get these weird confirms. But we're not going to see it is kind of the point that I was going to make right there. Yeah. Because we are, well, I mean, we're not going to see it at least for this game. We're going to see this exact same variation. And I mean, you know, this is, again, a very good variation at dealing with Cetrion, still just having that biomagnetic pull. But the problem was, Vortex wasn't able to get into the range to even use that. I mean, okay, there was that nice short hop, clearly understands the matchup, but just wasn't able to guess right on so much of the zoning last game.
Yeah, definitely not able to, you know, implement as much, you know, and right now getting a little bit more aggressive, which is where he has to be. I think he's got to challenge those rising walls a little bit more. You can go for something crazy like reversal bio pull, or you could go for some kind of Kano ball out of the gate because, you know, the risk reward, I'd say, is pretty much even. Goes for a fatal blow on wake up. And Temp adding a little bit of insult to injury, showing how predictable that move was. Not only did he block and punish, but he flawless blocked to get an easier punish than the one he was anticipating. Pushing back with those wins, trying to close the gap is Vortex with that back 3. Forward advancing, but definitely a little bit slow and way slower than Cetrion's broken backdash. It's just too good. The mobility is
gosh, it's like Black Adam's. Kind of. The float back. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Pre-patch Injustice 1? Yes, absolutely. That move was so broken. Like, you could not chase that thing down at all.
Oh, man.
Good old days.
Yeah, the quote-unquote good old days. But no, very, very similar, you know, even just as far as animation, they just float back. They don't actually, like, take steps. But, all right, here we go. Corner pressure goes for the Earthquake cancel. No, even more pressure. Wow, raw Kano Ball. I actually like that. I'd like to see more raw Kano Balls in this matchup. As risky as it is, the Oki that it gets is super significant, and you just have to make one right read, you know, even catching the startup of a boulder. But here we go, Fatal Blow for both, and that should be the conversion. No! Didn't get the full conversion, has another opportunity, and lands the rock, catching the roll, and that is going to be 2-0.
I love how you said rock and roll in that same sentence. It was cool. It was smooth. It was definitely it was smooth. I loved it. Yeah, that was a little. It was probably not something that he was looking for. He did hit that string that could have been converted into a fatal blow, but I don't think he was. I don't think he was looking for it. I don't think he was thinking that Cetrion was going to sit still there, or I feel like he's got to throw out that low string a little bit more. 2-4, you know, it's the stand 2, it does hit as a high, but it's pretty far reaching. And the 4 usually clips a lot of people who are looking to backdash or looking to move away, or I guess possibly looking to block an overhead. So you know, it's kind of just like clip somebody. You know, it's a safe string. You can end it in acid if you want to. Look for a cheap little hit while still remaining relatively safe. You know, as long as they don't as long as they don't get hit or you know, try to flawless block the acid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is, I mean, it's very rare to actually see that. There's very little that usually most characters can do against the acid. I feel like maybe in this matchup you can do reversal wall, but I'm not sure if I'm just misremembering that or not. But there we go. You know, look, everything that you basically just said that you wanted to see more of, you just immediately got to see, and it paid off super well.
That's kind of like I play this character. It could be.
Kinda.
Could do that. Kinda. Love the amplified knife toss. Good spot to do it in. Paying off big time. The mobility from Kano didn't continue that string. Not sure if he was looking to maybe cancel stand 2, and because it whiffed, didn't get the cancel, but he was swinging afterwards. Good block of the low. That's going to be a nice punish. Biomagnetic pull, stand 3. You're going to keep it unbreakable, or I'm sorry, unbreakawayable. And Vortex getting a nice round, getting that little confidence boost that we are looking to see here. Little knife pass. Ooh, getting hit there by that rising wall. Such a good move to keep any unwanted visitors from getting in on this Cetrion zoning. Like the short hop to get around, avoid as much chip damage as possible. And look at the patience there from Temp, you know, not letting go after that down 1 and just kind of saying, like, kind of knowing that acid is coming. So I feel like I want to see a command grab coming out of Vortex next time he gets in.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of tick throws that actually haven't worked out, but okay, oh yeah, I was about to say raw command grabs have been working out a lot, and that's exactly what we saw right there. But again, the tick throw didn't work out because the move actually hit. So I think I want to see more raw command grabs and more assumptions that the normals are actually going to hit. Wow, 2 acids, didn't spend bar on either one, but now it's down to Chip, and oh no, that might be it. Stand for fatal blow. I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, definitely not going to scale that much, and yeah, the solar beam at the end is definitely going to be enough to seal the deal. Didn't even need it. That last little rock just kind of put a nail in the coffin for that round. But you know, a final round situation can still make this, especially knowing that Cetrion is off, you know, one of those main resources that actually give her damage. She still has the crushing blow from I believe the forward 1-1-2 string. You know, she uses the punish, pops it for some good damage.
Yeah, it's well, 2-on-3, but I'm surprised that we haven't seen that crushing blow at all. It's a really common one to see in this matchup, and I was going to bring that up. Actually, that was what I was going to bring up right before that weird fatal blow conversion. But hey, there it is. There's the 2-1-3. But yeah, we haven't seen it used as a punish, but maybe it's not going to be necessary at this point, right? And anything that hits is going to close this out. Yeah, that's going to be that. And Temp will have another chance. So Temp bringing up the Cetrion was a good pick, surprisingly enough. Temp showing off some characters that I just didn't think we were really going to see from them. And, I mean, they're all looking really good, right? Every single pick that we're seeing has looked... I mean, honestly, so I'm used to seeing Temp's just Devora, but the Devora wasn't looking as good as, like, the Kotal or the Cetrion, to me, at least from just the matches that we saw today. Of course, it could be, like, a matchup thing, or it could just be the players more used to one of the matchups to the other. But, I mean, overall, I think the other characters are looking mad solid.
Oh yeah, definitely. And again, you're trying to solidify that game plan. Sub-regional finals are coming up very close for all the regions: Liga Latina, EU East, EU West, Oceania, NA, NA West, NA East. It's coming up, so you kind of have a good idea of whether you're going to qualify or not. And these are just kind of your way to get that strategy down, get those characters down. Let's check this out really quick here.
Yeah, of course, you can represent your realm and represent not only that, but your character. I mean, whether you're a fan of Sub-Zero or Scorpion, or, if you're one of those people who was just calling for Melina over and over, well, then it's time to show some backbone and represent her, as you can get her on some merch, or you can get really whatever you want, but representing your region is really the most important thing. So go to amazon.com/Mortal Kombat and see what's available. I personally need more Mortal Kombat merch. You're rocking it today. I have almost nothing, which is really sad. It's really surprising. I was thinking about all the stuff that I can put back in that case over there, and I just need more stuff. It's kind of sad, but we are now getting down to our final 3 players. But as we set that up, we are going to go to one more break. So of course, don't go anywhere, because we are going to close out week 7 of Oceania when we return. Welcome back, everybody. It's time to close out week 7 of the Oceania region here, the Intercontinental Combat at the Mortal Kombat Pro competition. I'm Wonder Chef joining Darth Arma again, and it's time to see who ends up our week 7 champ.
That's right. We're going to crown a champion this week, and that champion is going to be getting a boatload of points, which are going to be used towards qualifying for the sub-regional finals. It's going to have a $5,000 prize pool. So that is what is on the line here. These guys are also getting that strategy ready and finalized for that final day. We're down to the final 3 players in this grueling top 8, an even bigger tournament throughout all the Oceania region. As you can see the breakdown here, all the players that did make it for the top 8 this week. We got Swazzy sitting nice and comfortable in the grand finals, both tournament lives intact. This is a double elimination tournament, so whoever does make it out of losers finals, which we're going to be seeing right next, between Gilbags and Temps, they're going to have to defeat Swazzy in 2 consecutive sets in order to, 1, reset the bracket, and then 2, eliminate Swazzy out of this double elimination tournament. So, a big, tall order for whoever does get through there. And again, it's so tough to come out of losers, because I feel like, you're putting so much effort into making it out of there, because getting to losers finals is definitely a tough thing. So whoever is there is a really good seasoned player.
Yeah, and okay, so after all the switches that we've seen, we're seeing yet another switch. I feel, I don't know, Temp is just really trying out a lot of different characters today. So we've gone from Devora to, Devora to Collector, to Cetrion, to Jackie now. So we are seeing a lot of different characters, and also almost every single one has been used by a different player today, so it's getting really confusing. But of course, that's not a pick that we this and the Cetrion are not picks that we're super surprised to see people go to, and kind of as like a secondary or third, or really just a counter pick in general. But this is also a matchup that we do see against Sub-Zero a decent amount, because you don't really give him a lot of opportunity to mix, and you can really stuff a lot of his options with her, I would say, amazing normals.
Oh, super good mids, especially, man. That forward 3 coming out pretty fast, and the damage that it deals, or what it leads into with the right moves equipped. And right now, Gilbag's in a really bad spot, and Temp just kind of trying to keep the decision-making to a minimum. And I love how Gilbag's kind of picked up on that and went and just kind of wave dashed right in there for the throw. Oh, finds the opening here. Not going to go into a fatal blow just yet. Looking for one more successful hit, maybe, depending on what it comes from. Hits the forward 2, or doesn't commit to the whole forward 2. Does commit to it the second time around by canceling into the Rising Ice. And I love the attention to detail from Temp here, getting the corner positioning, getting the corner in their favor. Beautiful challenge here from Sub-Zero. Those eyes coming out fast.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, that was a pretty risky call out at the very start of that round. It might have been within crushing blow range, the dash punch, but regardless, that was obviously a really big risk, considering the fact that it's Sub-Zero and you're definitely going to be getting that side switch. Plus, Gilbag's using that Rising Ice so effectively that you know he's going to get a ton of damage off every single punish. But here we go, trying to zone a little bit. Temp is in that Fatal Blow range, and it's very easy for Jackie to get the conversions into Fatal Blow if she just finds one single opening. But that's going to be easier said than done. The Air Axe is a really good tool at controlling a lot of this range that Jackie really wants to be in. Finding an answer to get in, it's not going to be easy. Try to dash punch again. That's 0 for 2 now on that working raw on the neutral. And now the chip is going to be just one hit away. Not going to need it. The Ice Axe in the air again. Put in a lot of work.
Yeah, I love even when the chips are down, though, Temp is finding those opportunities. The flawless block get a little bit more in terms of like a frame advantage, being able to recover a little bit faster. Connecting that boot there is Sub-Zero, getting that last little hit. And what a conversion here from the down shot. Getting a little tricky there with some overheads. Those short hops are definitely unsafe, but they are a little tougher to block, especially if you got some good lows equipped with your arsenal here. Back throw from Jackie Briggs does wait out and kind of anticipate the roll, but didn't really capitalize big time. And there's the wake up 3. I think it was a little too obvious, especially towards, you know, the end of your life bar. Kind of felt like it was a little desperate coming out of Gilbags, but you know, obviously could have worked. It could have went in his favor. It's a fully invulnerable move, but I feel like it's kind of like a common pattern to kind of go for that move in a do or die situation. Obviously, it's not going to lead into a lot of combo damage or combo potential, but all Sub-Zero needs is a little bit of frame advantage, and that kind of opens up the overhead or low game, and could go, you know, Mix City into Mix City into Mix City for a potential comeback. But this time it's going to be Temp taking away that game. And remember, guys, Gilbags is the one that you know, was the one that dropped in here from the winner's side, making it all the way, you know, halfway through the tournament without dropping a set until winners finals.
Yeah, I would love to know who actually knocked Temp into the losers bracket. I might try to look that up during this game, but it was definitely before the top 8. So one of the other competitors here probably that would start off in the top 4 could have been, you know, maybe Swazzy or something like that. Could have been Gilbags. I'll let you know as soon as I find out. Oh, okay, so it was Gilbags, actually. So this is the run back from the earlier, I guess, bracket, winner's bracket match. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for. And I don't know if this was the same matchup, but, I mean, this currently looks like Temp is pretty in control and is playing this very well.
Yeah, no, definitely playing it super duper solid, in full control there according to that last game. And, you know, let's change up the stage a little bit, obviously. Not really changing up the characters, kind of sticking with the game plan, showing a little bit of confidence that is going to be connecting here. And even though that goop does cause some damage over time, it doesn't actually slow you down physically. So able to get the wave dash in. Whoa, that could have been devastating if that dash punch did connect. But speaking of connecting, here comes the jump-ins from Jackie. A lot of conversions here thanks to those equipped moves, getting a little sneaky there or looking for some kind of throw possibly, and Jackie on the verge of making that comeback, and Gilbags putting a stop to it thanks to that overhead forward 2.
Yeah, it had no offensive meter, so couldn't do a wake-up attack to kind of build a little bit more time and maybe try to bait the goose to deal a little bit more damage. But that was almost a big comeback, and already starting off strong here. Has the corner, lands that short hop overhead again. This time short hop into grab. So far, 100% short hop success, I would say. That round was instant. That round was like just a few seconds long. But the nice thing is that, I mean, Temp is going to have amazing corner positioning right here. Has to be careful of course, you know, an amplified slide side switch, or really just any freeze, or you know what, just a dash under. That's going to work too. Now this is the opposite situation where it's going to be so tough to get out of the corner. The crushing blow is doing so much damage. No big bait on the up 3 though.
Oh, that could have been devastating, absolutely. And here comes the punish from that blocked dash punch. Always going to be taking a huge risk here. Jackie in a really bad situation here. Does use that bar to try to get some kind of offense going. Finds the back throw. Can she turn this around? Oh, that could have been huge if she committed to the jump in. Getting around that up three, the chilling heel. Looks like Jackie's just trying to get out of there. Wanted to kind of get to a more safe position, a position where she's got a little bit more real estate, poking with those down ones, trying to keep Sub-Zero in check as best as she can. Hopping over to the other side, and that was pretty much a shimmy. Walking shoulder to shoulder, making them think, oh, here comes a possible throw, because she did that 2 times in a row previously, and that was just enough. So perfectly calculated there. Getting that shimmy, connecting to the fatal blow, literally nothing he could have done at that point once he thought that throw was coming. And that was just pure genius, playing around the mindset of throw and kind of playing to the fears of getting thrown for the 3rd time in a row. Beautiful call out here from Jackie Briggs.
Yeah, this is pretty big, you know. The fact that there's only one person in this bracket now that's beaten Temp, and now, you know, is looking to potentially run that back, potentially at a 3-0, currently up 2-0. You know, it's a really big deal. And I think if Temp manages to win this, that's also going to be really good for, like, personal mental morale, especially going into the grand finals. And the fact that Swazi hasn't had a chance to play against Temp yet, and Temp has so many different characters, I mean, they really both have a lot of characters, means that it could go really the distance, just depending on kind of who wins that counterpick war first. But, of course, first, Temp is going to have to close this out. Gilbags has been super close, just not able to find those final moments. And wow, okay, gets the leap. Knew that that wasn't actually a really good conversion. Maybe could have just gone for normal blast, but wasn't going to be able to get a full combo. And here we go. Speaking of full combos, oh, the breakaway and a punish. That combo is... pretty much everybody in this bracket knows that you can get a full combo punish on that by breaking away.
Everyone in the bracket knows, and now I know. Got to definitely take that to the lab to check out how to kind of expose that specific combo. But again, Sub-Zero can alter it to kind of bait it out, so you got to really pick it wisely here. Look at the damage here coming at it, Jackie Briggs. More than 36%, and that was kind of a combo that was cut short, and I like the idea to just kind of, you know, eliminate the risk of execution and just end it nice and simple. That shows me a player that's aware of the life bars. But hold on a second, Gilbags getting a nice combo of his own, following up with a throw, forward throw for Great Oki, and Jackie waking up with some buttons, swinging for the fences. Getting that conversion the 2nd time around. Not going for the dash punch crushing blow, but instead throwing down the DOT. But, you know, I don't think Sub-Zero is too unfamiliar, uncomfortable at that range. You know, Ice Ball definitely going to be a favorable trade pretty much with anything in this game.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything that it isn't technically a favorable trade. Is there anything that captures as long and doesn't, or does damage also? I don't know. But yeah, regardless, pretty much what you said. And now we're going to start seeing the zoning. Oh no, gets the hit, and that conversion should be it. All it takes is one mistake, and Jackie's always going to find that fatal blow, and that is going to be a 3-0 in the run back, where Temp is going to move into the grand finals. That's a pretty big deal. Like I was saying, you know, you got to feel super good after that, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's got to be a big confidence booster to be able to kind of just go through that, and you got to be feeling yourself. You got to be feeling yourself in layman's terms when it comes to that. Like, it's just it's sometimes you really underestimate what your current mindset is going to do in terms of like hindering your ability to tap into your potential. You know, you ever, you've been in the FGC for a very long time, Chef, along with myself, but you know, you ever meet those players that are just like amazing in casuals, just straight up godlike. They know all these matchups, they know everything, they know how everybody plays, but they either enter in tournaments and they don't do so well, or they know they're not going to do well, so they're just like, no, I'm just going to play casually. And it's just it's a tough thing to get through. It's a tough thing to, you know, get through that mindset, and I see it happen to a lot of players. So this could be a big changing of the tides here for Jackie Briggs if she keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, or else really whoever else that he wants to pick.
Yeah. And if you guys want to pick a great setup for your audio at home, definitely pick Astro Gaming. You guys can find out more about the Astro Gaming products by hitting up astrogaming.com. A lot of great things here. Myself and Chef have been wearing these headsets for hours now, and let me tell you, nice and comfy, no stress at all. So upgrade your setup, get yourself something nice, and just hope your coworkers don't make fun of you for showing up to a Zoom meeting while wearing Astros.
No, you look super pro. You look super cool. But you said no stress, and I'm going to say no stress from the headsets, but definitely stress from the matches tonight, as we've had to watch a lot of these Sub-Zero mix-up situations, which is pretty stressful, even if you're not the one blocking. But if you are, then I mean it's even more so. And we're not done watching those situations yet. We actually didn't see as many as we could have in that losers finals match because Temp did so well in it. But now the question is, in Swazi and Temp, the grand finals for this week, I mean, not only who will come out on top, but what characters will they use? And it looks like Sub-Zero for Swazi, solid pick, and Temp doing so well in this matchup in the last set is going to go with the repeat pick of Jackie. So we are going to see the same characters, but Swazi, of course, using a different variation of Sub-Zero. Not going to have that big launcher, instead going to have the amplified ice ball to get the conversions from the overhead, to get the conversions from just a few different situations a little bit further on the screen, and also using that creeping ice.
Fight.
Yeah, creeping ice, a safe-ish route, or more safe route when it comes to applying some kind of mix. But really, I think the problem is going to be to get Jackie to sit still long enough for a forward two to even come into play here. Bionic bouncing out of there. Not really sure what opened her up there from the ice ball. Maybe she wasn't anticipating it to come out so quickly.
One other thing that's nice, though, about the amplified ice ball is that it does let you get some air-to-air conversions a lot easier, or in situations that you wouldn't normally be able to, and that's pretty applicable in this matchup. I see a lot of characters pick... Oh, no, didn't get the conversion. That's big. Oh, picks it up again. But yeah, I see a lot of people pick variations in this matchup just based on how well they can convert from air-to-air. Pretty funny, but that's how it's going to play out.
Hey man, air-to-airs happen, more often than one would think. Beautiful anti-air here coming out of Sub-Zero. Down two, not one of the best down twos in the game, but decent enough as long as you see the call out, in time or quickly enough. Hits the creeping ice, but because she got hit by that, again, he wasn't anticipating her to get hit by it, she got out of the way of creeping ice, and that was just, I feel like that was just Swazi not really paying attention to the fact that she got hit, amplifying it. On hit was probably the worst thing he could have done in that situation. Finds the opening here though. Hit confirmed, but drops the combo. Commentator's curse yet again. The down one getting completely stuffed out there as he's trying to recover, bringing that back. And Jackie with those mids, man. Solid normals all around. You got the slightly forward advancing mid punch, and you also have that super fast just Muay Thai kick coming out. So pick your poison, man. They're so good, both of them. Wait, he just did that? He just did that? Didn't want to confirm? Is he just playing like a crazy person? Because right now, he's missing the front of his skull. Jackie's dash punch connecting perfectly here. Crushing. Whoa. Man, oh man.
Oh, everything is working out. Wow, even the hop answered and the roll was grabbed. Every single thing all in a row working out so well for Temp right here. And just throwing the interactable. It wasn't even blocked. Just ending the game. That was a really close back and forth game until that final round where just every little thing worked all in a row. That was super weird, but again, that's got to feel pretty good. And this is definitely going to be a very competitive set. I would not be surprised if we did end up seeing the reset, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we ended up seeing a different character coming out of Swazi as this set progressed. As we have seen a few different things, including the Johnny Cage, which does have some kind of options against upgraded-ish Jackie. But, sub can work too, absolutely. There's not really a total necessary need to change, and maybe we are going to see the Johnny Cage. Okay, so one big thing that we see a lot from Johnny Cage's in this matchup is choosing the low arcing force ball, because it does hit out of the air very, very well in that range that Jackie wants to be in. So let's see if we do see that. We do. We see that, throwing shades for the big damage, and rising star for the kind of mix-up game after pokes.
Yeah, gotta be a way to kind of steal your turn, or make your opponent think that you're gonna cancel into something, and then you can kind of open up with a double poke, or poke into throw, something like that. Really depends on how the person reacts to it. Love how Temp is just kind of closing the gap there, trying to get nice and low under that fireball. I feel like you got to kind of reserve that for really far away, but again, like we said before, Swazi, I'd say pretty much a Johnny Cage main. That's going to be the character we're more used to seeing. Tries to hit the down 2 crushing blow, but just a little too late. I mean, normally I let that slide if it happens after the throw, but that dash punch, definitely have a lot more time to make that conversion. Either way, bringing her down to almost nothing. Going to be chip avoided, the last one. No more bar left, man. No more resources.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing here is, like, you're not going to be able to leap over that. You're not going to be able to, I mean, you have the false block really well, but you're not going to be able to sit there and duck. So, really, the zoning in this matchup is super, super important.
Yeah, definitely going to be, it's something that, and Johnny Cage definitely no slouch when you get up close to him. He's got some pretty good normals, far advancing normals here. The lows that kind of hit you. Oh, tries to, that's Jackie getting a taste of Rowan medicine. That whip throw, just getting just a little too slow. That's how we feel every time we try to punish Jackie on the whip throw that we duck. Downward shot. This is Jackie's last stand here. Not going to be able to block anything here if she doesn't get that bar. There it is. The low, the arcing fireball going right to the face of Jackie Briggs. She has nothing left in the tank. Nothing left there for the defensive bar either to try to avoid that chip. Swazi looking a lot better, a lot more control of Johnny Cage, but we do have the ability to switch characters here as Temp has played. What is the chef? The third character Temp has played tonight?
Fourth.
That's impressive. Fourth. That's super impressive.
Yeah, Devora into Collector, into Cetron, which is my guess is what we're about to see. And then, of course, Jackie 2 times in a row. So, yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but winning the first game of the set is hugely important, and we did see Temp winning the first game of the set, which does mean that if they do go back and forth with counter picks now, the overall advantage is going to go to Temp. But, okay, Temp, are you going to use a 5th character at this point? That might be a little bit overkill. I mean, hey, I always want to see it, right? I'm not going to be against it.
Is Temp like the Mighty and Just or Titanium Tigers of Australia? Could be. Now, this is you mentioned before, Chef. This is the character you're kind of more used to seeing from Temp, did you say that about Temp or somebody else?
This is Temp, yeah. So I'm way more used to seeing Temp play a pretty wild, no fear is the best way that I'd put it. No fear Devora. And I was surprised to see as many switches as we did, let alone any switch.
Good hit confirm into the teleport here, making sure that does connect. Not going to put yourself in an unsafe situation. Here comes the Oki bug, deleted some good damage thanks to those far-reaching normal jumps, but unfortunately doesn't get the conversion. Maybe it's because you haven't played Devora all night, so if you lose by 1 combo, definitely going to be blaming that on a little lack of muscle memory here. Swinging for the fences is Swazi. Right now trying to swing on his turn. The down 1 getting canceled into the stingers, the consecutive stingers from Devora. A very good move to kind of cheat and get your turn back here. Back throw.
Yeah, I mean, both of these characters are going to have that option, right? Both with down 1s into these pseudo-safe special moves. You spin bar, but here we go, big combo. And I think this should be it. Yeah, the down 2 going to guarantee it. That's something you got to expect at least once per game when you do have that throwing shades move. The comeback potential pretty much the highest in the entire game for this variation.
Yeah, but what he was doing specifically there, he tapped into the crushing blow right as that Oki bug was about to hit him, and it was just perfect timing. And it was definitely well thought out and super labbed. He knew how much time exactly he had to hit that throwing shade crushing blow. Oh, neutral jump punch. Here's Devora whiffing on that throw animation. Going for a big ride. Swazi looking to take this second game 1 more game closer, but hold on a second. Temp connecting the back throw. Swazi a little bit more comfortable, trying to stay away.
Great tech. Oh, this is really scary on both sides. And now he's throwing fireballs. Oh, waits for the teleport, and that should be, oh no, doesn't get the down two, and the fatal blow connects. I don't think it's enough, right? That can't be enough, which means it's going to be one hit away really on both sides.
Yeah, down to anything, down to either person. I mean, it could be a Widow's Kiss, and it actually hit. He bet it all on Widow's Kiss right after getting punished for doing it. And it was kind of an obvious situation there where Swazzy was like, all right, I'm waiting for Widow's Kiss. What? Did he just hit Widow's Kiss out of the sky before it became active? This is insane, man. Swazzy's a lab monster. That's it. Swazzy's a lab monster.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, also, it seems like a lot of players in this region have pretty good experience against Devora, which is pretty funny. But, I mean, you know, originally that was one of the characters that Waz, too, wanted to play. And, of course, if they have a good Devora like Temp in the region, then you gotta have that level of experience. But, yeah, I mean, you know, oh, there it is again. Now, this was a little bit of a safer setup, but, I mean, you can see exactly why I was saying that it's a no-fear Devora, right? I mean, just the way that Temp ended that one round just going for the raw teleport. There is just literally no fear out of this man.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely how you summed it up there. And sometimes it's scary when you're fighting somebody like that because it's really tough to condition them, and that's going to be a nice throw. Not enough to seal the deal here. They're getting some good damage. Tries to, and I like the effort there. He tried to go into the fatal blow to tap into an animation, but it just wasn't fast enough for that situation. So once that animation from Fatal Blow does happen, does connect, it negates everything on the field, including that Oki slug, that Oki bug hatchling that Devora drops there. So, you know, that was so close to being a game for Swazzy, but he was able to pull it off. You know, Temp definitely at home with this Devora pick, 100%.
Yeah, I wonder if there was a way to go directly into Fatal Blow. I do know that Johnny Cage's Fatal Blow is a little bit slow, so I don't know if he could have just done, like, maybe standing 2 in the Fatal Blow, if that even combos. It's not something that I've ever labbed for sure, or really seen anybody have to do. So I like the attempt to just do 1-2 Fatal Blow, just unfortunately didn't work out. Or maybe he went for the cancel to be able to block them. But regardless, one way or another, it didn't work out. And I do like the attempt to stick with Johnny Cage. I think Johnny Cage is still going to fight this matchup really well. It's just, when it came down to the guesses at the end, and like really 2 rounds straight, it just wasn't in favor of Swazzy.
Yeah, it was, you know, again, just a few minor decisions here. Oh, unfortunately went into the nut punch. Pretty bad hit confirmed there. Gets the forward throw. Oh, tries to set up the Oki bug, but that last bug just a little too far away, or Johnny Cage slightly a little too far away. So a little kind of a miscalculation of spacing here out of Temp. Hopefully he cleans it up a little bit. Tries to make it safe with the amplified bug stinger here. The sting.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's actually called anymore. I know it was ovipositor charge back in the day in MKX, but they changed the name, which is throwing me off. So yeah, whatever the little stabby stab is called. But here we go.
Stab.
One more hit of Chip. Whoa, that was almost really scary. The actual upwards hit of the Rising Star whiff, which could have led to like maybe like a flawless block or some sort of whiff punish, but luckily for Swazzy, none of the above. And still has this corner positioning. The down 4s and the sweeps coming out of Johnny Cage are extremely good buttons, and it's going to be really hard to contest them from Devora, and we're seeing a lot more of those. Yeah, I think that maybe even been a down 3, just because Devora has so many good range highs, but not a lot of great mids.
Yeah, definitely lacking in the mids department for sure. It's pretty much what I hear when it comes to downplaying this character. Down 1 into Stinger. You know, doing a lot of work here. I like the fact that Temp is kind of hit confirming or block confirming these. Once it does get blocked, able to amplify to make it safe. Tries to air, but Johnny Cage a little bit quicker there with that neutral jump punch. Getting those plus frames on those low pokes, and what a punish here from Temp. Displaying a huge amount of brain power here, an even bigger brain play here to just swing with the Fatal Blow. Now, Fatal Blow doesn't get armor until frame 6 and higher. But again, Devora's Fatal Blow, actually one of the faster ones in the game, so it could easily kind of scare you in that sense. He could have got a conversion there. That could have been his round, but Swazzy sneaks it away.
Oh, that's rough. I mean, that was absolutely a huge dropped opportunity, and now allowing him to tie things up. I mean, that's got to feel really bad. But, I mean, also, you got to be really ready for something like that to happen always with Devora, especially when you're using the ground bug, the Oki bug, as you called it so well. There's so many situations where there's just weird hits and things just don't work out the way that you think that they will. And it's really not about, like, preventing those situations because they're going to happen. It's about being able to pick them up as best as you possibly can. And in there, you know, even maybe Chip could have done it had we gone into the stabby stabs, as you've also called it so professionally. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just not how it went. And now Temp has to make the tough decision. What character are you putting your tournament lifeline with? And that's okay. Yeah, so Temp didn't use. No, this wasn't Temp that used, it was Solar Plexus that used Shiva. So this is the 6th character of the day. We're going to see, okay, this is more of a classic one. The Death March for the launcher, the Enhanced Dragon Drop, and the Queen's Punishment for the low. So this is the one that we're a little bit more used to seeing as opposed to having that overhead command grab that we saw from Solar Plexus earlier in the day. But let's see if it works. We'll see if it's going to be a whole lot of stomps. We'll see if it's going to be a whole lot of zoning like we're seeing right now, or if there's a different game plan in mind.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see some of the stomps come out. Very strong gameplay for pretty much any level. Love the cancel into the throw, getting a little sneaky, but that can only take you so far. And look at that knee, the wake up 3, fully invulnerable, and Swazi taking full advantage of those plus frames on hit. Swinging again and looking for some kind of airborne conversion here. The Rising Star doing a lot for Swazi, but Temp has had enough. Connects the up 3, very unique animation here. And getting that back throw, corner positioning now in favor of Temp. Swazi in a really, really tough spot here between a 4-armed monster and a corner, basically. But he does manage. He does manage to find the way out. Nut punch amplified, no problem at all. Swazi on tournament point here.
Yeah, I mean, the Shiva was doing a good amount of damage, but, you know, it doesn't matter which character you choose. You get cornered by Johnny Cage, and that's just a tough spot. Great usage of the Starfish to counter zone. But, yeah, this is one of those matchups where you're not really going to be able to throw out fireballs willy-nilly as Johnny Cage. Just because you're losing the trades pretty heavily. But, of course, you just get in once. Or really, if you start getting the life advantage, you take that zoning advantage, it's a big deal. Oh, no, though, the armor break into the crushing blow. Look how much damage that is. This is gonna have to be a really offensive comeback. There's definitely no chance to zone anymore. Walks the correct. Oh, good pick. This could be a big deal here. This could be a huge combo. This is not gonna be enough, but it's one mix-up away.
He could do this. He could seal the deal, and he does with the back throw. On top of that, going with a little bit of throw mix, not the obvious forward throw, but Swazi thinking one step ahead and becoming this week's champion here. Week number 7 in the Oceania region, going to Swazi as he switches over to Johnny Cage to get the job done. Not going to let any points get away.